Jessica, I see we have 7 o'clock on the timer here. Is everybody ready? I know Vince is ready.
We're ready.
Can you hear me, Nicole? Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Council Chambers is muted. I don't think they can hear us, Vince. We'll run the meeting from here.
Vic, can you hear me? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I was talking to you guys.
All right, we're going to have to bang that.
Okay. If somebody would mind banging my gavel just to get everyone's attention. Okay, thank you all very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us for today's regular meeting of the Mayor and Council on February 27th, 2023. At this time, I'll ask everyone to please stand for a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. You may be seated at this time. I will now ask for our statement of publications, please. Jessica.
Take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on Monday, February 27, 2023 has been posted and advertised in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Balca. Here. Conti.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Noha.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
At this time, I'll ask for the approval of prior minutes of the Mayor and Council. I see none here. Is that accurate?
Correct.
All right, that was an easy one. Now we get to move on to some excitement and some fun. This is our time for proclamations and presentations, and we are going to start things off right with our Saraville Junior Bomber cheerleaders, who I can see at least the first 3 rows that are in the house. Girls, can I hear you for a little bit? Just say, give me a little clap and applause. Can I hear you? There you are. Oh, at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the
Mayor, can we,
yes.
We're going to have the football player go first.
John
Walsh is going to come up. Yep, we're going to switch it.
Okay, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I can't see everybody, but at this time, I do believe that I'll ask, usually we have the council come to the front of the podium here. Are you guys comfortable with doing that? I apologize for my absence in person today.
And we'll have John Walsh, if he can come up, please.
Yes, Mr. Walsh, if you can come up. And Council President, if you would assist him as needed.
Okay, thank you, and good evening. And it's my honor to be here tonight. It's actually my last function as president of the Saraville Junior Bombers. We just, I was able to nominate a brand new president, Keith Simpkins, who's going to do a great job for the Saraville Junior Bombers. He couldn't be here tonight. He just had a brand new baby girl. I guess some people think childbirth is more important than football. I don't know if that's true. But I'm old school. No, we keep the best. He's a great guy, and he's going to be a great president. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, in 2017, we created the Saraville Junior Bombers. I've been the president since 2017. As most of you know, we had 2 storied programs in Saraville. We had the Saraville Leprechauns and the Morgan Panthers, and they were great organizations. But it became very clear to us that we wanted our kids to have the best opportunities and to play at the highest level. And we knew that as one town and one team, we could do that we could play at the highest level. So I want to first thank the mayor and the council as well as past members and our past mayor who invested in our program, invested in our field. And invest in our kids. And as you can see with all these amazing athletes here tonight, when you invest in the kids at Sayreville, I know they have a hard job up here. They have to decide a lot of things and decide a lot of important things for town. But when you invest in our kids, they can do anything. They can compete with anybody. They can compete at national level, and they can do amazing things. And all these great athletes here tonight did that. So congratulations to the girls who were national champs. I know Kelly's going to talk a little bit about them. But I have the honor to talk about a couple of years ago, we joined the American Youth Football Organization, which is the largest and most competitive football organization in the country. And a lot of people didn't know if we were going to be able to compete there. Not only did our teams, not only are they surviving there, they're thriving there, and we're winning championships, and we're playing good football, and we're learning important values, but our athletes individually have had opportunities. We had 10 players this year playing the local All-Star game, which is a huge honor. Our league goes all the way, our Jersey Shore division goes all the way up from Sparta down to LBI. So it's a huge organization with great players, but they also offer a national All-Star team that all our players are allowed to try out for. So this is a team that's picked by national coaches, not somebody's dad, not our coaches, not your uncle, our national coaches who watch film, who come to the games in person, and then you have to try out and you have to show what you have, and they select the team. And I couldn't be more proud of Michael Biablocki, who was chosen for the National All-Star team. And I'll let you know that not only was the New Jersey national team, it's just an honor to make that team. They went down, he not only is a national all-star, he's not a national champion, because they went down there and won the national championship all-star team against teams from Florida, North Carolina, California. And again, our kids are amongst the very best. Some former players in that game, Kenny Pickett was a player in that game. So these are the level of players that have played in the National All-Star game. And it's something for years, our kids, when we were two organizations, our kids didn't have those opportunities. And the last 3 years, we've had players try out for the team and make it. And I couldn't be more proud of Michael. When I talked to his coaches after the game, they said everything that we already knew about Michael, that he's a team player, that he was selfless, and that he worked hard. And I always say, people always say Sayreville's a football town. And I always say, no, Sayreville just happens to be a blue collar, hardworking town. And those things are what make you a great football player. And that's the type of kid Michael is. And he's a credit to his family. He's a credit to our organization, and he's a credit to Sayreville. So I want to thank Michael again for the way he represented our town and our organization. And I'll let the council president read the proclamation if that's how it goes. And again, thank you very much, Michael. I'm proud of you, and we're all proud of you. So congratulations. Oh, Biablocki. Some people from South Amboy say Biablocki. I'm pretty sure it's Biablocki.
Biablocki. That's okay. And one, can we just give another round of applause for this young man again? On behalf of the Borough of Sayreville, you are awarded a certificate of achievement. And this is presented to you, of course, Mr. Michael Biablocki of the Sayreville Junior Bombers football team. This is for placing first in the 12 under NGAYF All-Star football team on the AYF National Championship. Congratulations once again by the mayor and the Borough of Sayreville.
Outstanding job, Council President. I'm up here. I don't know if my picture is up there, but I'm waving to you, Michael. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty. So let me just be the first one to say that what an amazing, amazing accomplishment. Once again, every single time that we get to see our youth coming here for whether it be sports, academics, or something else, you make me extremely, extremely proud. And what an awesome last name to have as a football player. So just saying, that's a force in and of itself. I know you're probably just hoping right now for some snow, so we have a delayed opening tomorrow. Is that correct? That's like even better than the certificate, right?
Yeah.
It is. But Thank you so much for coming here and making today such an exciting opportunity for us. And again, you're just starting out. You are breaking through those lines. You are breaking through walls. What position do you play?
I play defensive back.
Defensive back. All right. That's pretty good. I think. So I just wish you the absolute best. And I know that in a couple of years, we'll probably be seeing you up here again because you don't look like you're done on the field. And I don't think you are done in school yet. So academically, I know you're just going to keep soaring. Athletics is great for giving you that motivation to just keep pushing yourself at every level. Congratulations. And I'll turn it over to the rest of the council at this time. Council President, you're in charge, so you can pass along as you see fit or make your statements now.
Maybe we get to the ladies first on this side.
I just want to say that this is the best part of the meeting. So you really made my night here. And, I don't know what a defensive blocker is, but congratulations.
I just want to say congratulations. And I see a lot of other athletes here. And we all know that the words that your coach has spoken, teamwork, selflessness, are really things that you learn out there. And we can't be more proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And, it takes a lot of hard work to get to this place, and make sure you keep doing that in everything you do in life.
Yes. And again, on behalf of the mayor and the borough, thank you and congratulations. But, once again, thank you because I think your coach said it, your president said it, awesome teammate, the selflessness. I think you mentioned the work ethic, right? Those three things, allowed you to represent yourself well, represent your family well, represent the borough well. So we're saying thank you, and continue to do so. Thank you again.
We also have Vince Conti on the line. Vince, did you want to say a few things from where you are?
Sure. Hey, Michael, congratulations. You're such a great kid. I've seen you play. I've seen you play football before. I've seen you play basketball. Such a good kid you are, such a hard worker. You come from a good family. I'm so happy to see you have this success. Congratulations. Just keep up the good work, man. We love it. Thank you very much.
Great work, Michael. Great job. Excellent. At this time, the council cannot sit down yet because we have our ladies in the house. Our Sayreville Junior Bomber cheerleaders are ready to take the stand next. So at this time, I think we'll get those certificates ready and in hand. Jessica and Nicole, do you have those prepared? And do we have our cheerleading coaches here with us tonight? All right, come on up. You guys are pros at this.
I thought you would choose. Which names do you have here? Can I just look real quick? Okay.
So excited.
Okay. I'm telling you, these ladies know how to do it. You produce some of the best athletes that we have ever seen. I get so excited when you visit because you also know how to run the show for me. So who are we going to start with today? It's a little hard for me to see. Which coach do we have first? I usually like people are presenting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the achievement of the ladies this time around? So they usually give us a little bio, and then we can start bringing up our young ladies.
Sure. Okay. It's right here. All right. Can you hear me, everybody? We're good? Great. Okay. All right. I first want to congratulate all of the D12 girls for an amazing season. Seeing the growth in every single one of you has been such an amazing thing to watch. Myself and all of our other coaches up here are so extremely proud of everything you girls have accomplished this season. This group of athletes that ranges from 10 to 12 years old were constantly being pushed to do their absolute best, and it showed in their performances. Every time they competed, it just proved how talented and strong they are. After every competition, we would always increase the difficulty in the routine, but these girls never complained. They practiced even harder and always rose up to the challenge. They practiced 3 times a week, cheered weekly at football games, placed first at our 2 first competitions, and earned their spot to compete at the national championship held down in Orlando, Florida. They placed fourth in the nation against 16 teams and received their highest score of the season, ending with a 91.5 out of 100.
Woo!
Words cannot fully express how proud all of our coaches are of this team and how incredible they are at representing Sayreville cheerleading at the national level. Congratulations, girl. You should be so proud.
Outstanding. And do we want to start with our first round of certificates?
I don't know how to do this. Here I am. Daniela. Oh, she's not here.
So as the ladies' names are called, as always, make sure that you guys come up, girls, stand in front of your coaches so that way everybody at home has an opportunity to see you and you get some TV time.
Christelle. Julie.
Make sure you turn around for those pictures.
Haley Rucker. Haley Provenza. Mia. Mia. Ariella. Tori. Bella. Olivia. Gianna. Zoe. Summer. Savannah. Sammy. Lynn. And then Naya's not here. But Naya. Woo!
Ladies, outstanding. Let's do a quick little shift because on a few on the end, I can't quite see you. So let's just shift down a little bit more so that way everybody can get on camera. This is the first time I've ever gotten this view. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, moms, dads, friends, family, go ahead and get those cameras out. Move up if you need to, because look at this amazing lineup of young ladies. Impressive group. Go ahead, take those photos. Girls know how to do it. They're holding those certificates up and open. I always love trying to pick out the flyers as a cheerleader. I think I found one of my flyers up front. I'm thinking. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Girls, before you get to sit down, of course, the council's going to want to let you know how proud of you we are. I'm going to hand that over to Council President Anoha.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're even grateful. And once again, we do want to congratulate you on your presentation from the Borough of Sayreville for this certificate of achievement for placing second in the Division 14. Oh, I'm reading the wrong thing.
Wrong one. It's all right. Julie,
oh, thank you. I'm so sorry. But once again, we do want to congratulate you on behalf of the Borough of Sayreville, for this wonderful achievement, as you have placed first in the Jersey Shore AYC Conference, placing first again in the Big East AYC Regionals, and placing fourth in the AYC National Championship. Congratulations again. You're awesome.
Wow, that is outstanding. Leaving no doubt, ladies, taking first place again. Let's see, did you want to hand that microphone down for the rest of our ladies? Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say that anybody that says cheering is not a sport really should, have their head examined. Congratulations, lady.
Exactly, Mary. cheering is a really tough sport. Even back in the day when the dinosaurs roamed and I did it, you guys still stand on each other's shoulders and support each other. That's a great lesson because you learn how to work together, support each other, work as a team. There's nothing better than doing that with people that you love spending time with. So congratulations.
Congratulations, girls. My daughter was a Pop Warner cheerleader way back when, and I know basically back then summer ended August 1st. I don't know if it's the same anymore because practice started August 1st and you were busy every day of the week for the rest of the summer and all through the fall. So good job. Keep up the hard work.
And Councilman Conti?
Oh, thank you. Hey, girls, we know no one works harder than the cheerleaders. You guys are always out there working your tails off. So I'm glad to see you getting this award. This is great. Congratulations. Thank you. We're so proud of you.
And congratulations once again.
Congratulations, ladies. I think of pyramids when I think of cheerleaders. And honestly, from the top all the way down to the base and the bottom, those pyramids are strong. They sustain, they take on the elements, and they work. And that is exactly what you guys do. I hear you in the middle school. I hear the work that our cheerleaders do. And it really is quite astounding. You play hurt, you play injured, and you are fearless. So keep carrying that in everything you do. Congratulations, ladies. Make sure that you make sure to wave at that camera as you make your way back. Parents, thank you once again for coming out and for supporting our young athletes.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. Think snow now when you go home. Think lots of snow. All right. Usually this is when our halls kind of clear out, but if you would like to stay, we're going to move forward with our,
Mayor, there's still more.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. Am I on? Is this on? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Biablocky. So it's a very special night for me tonight to be here. So as my son has been up here, John has been up here talking about our program. Now I get the honor also with cheer, up here with Lori, representing Sayreville Junior Bombers cheer. As many of you know, our program starts at the age of 5 and goes all the way up through 14. And this year, we were very lucky to have 3 cheerleaders that were part of the AYC Jersey Shore Elite Team. So Jersey Shore is made up of 40 associations. So that's all throughout. It does consist of North Jersey all the way down to the Pinelands. So we had cheerleaders try out for this team of elite girls. It's ages 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we had 3 girls try out and 3 made the team and represented Sayreville Junior Bombers on this elite team. The tryout consisted of, I think they might have learned it within maybe 2 days of a routine, whether it was a cheer, dance. They're walking into a tryout where they may not have known anyone. It takes a lot of courage to do that, a lot of determination, and they had success. From there, they had new coaches, new teammates, new choreographers to learn another 2-minute and 30-second routine in and top of their one that they had for Sayreville Junior Bombers. Cheering at games. Many of them are also part of other cheer associations. So it's a lot of hard work. And of course, behind every cheerleader is that parent, right? That support system they have. So thank you to all the Junior Bomber cheer parents that are here. Thank you, thank you. So we actually had representation from a cheerleader from our D14 team, who is the head coach, Jackie Maritoli. So thank you, Jackie, for having your daughter step in. And also 2 more athletes that came from the D12 team. So again, you can see with AYC, there's a nice span of age that they allow this opportunity. So once again, the girls had to learn a routine. We had 2 different teams for Jersey Shore this year. One was considered a level 2, another one was considered a level 4. So they were on 2 different teams. And they practiced at least once or twice a week. And they actually made it down to the national track, which was in Florida. So we were all there together as an association and also there supporting the Jersey Shore Elite Team. So at this time, I just want to recognize those cheerleaders and we'll see who. So the first one is Madison Maritoli. here. So Madison is also one of our 8th grade cheerleaders. So this is her final year with Junior Bombers. So I can tell you Madison is just a wonderful person. She comes from a fantastic family as well. She's also a leader. I've seen that at practices, motivates her team. So remember that day when I come knocking at your door to help coach. But really, very, very proud of Madison. And I hope you had a good experience with this. So thank you. Okay, next cheerleader. This is from our D12 team. Is Summer Corbello. Where are you? So Summer is a cheerleader, also from a wonderful family that these girls truly trust. And I think I could speak for every coach. We also trust her wholeheartedly. She is one of those that if a stunt needs to be shown, the right grips, someone may not be doing the right thing. It truly is, Summer, can you help us out? Let's get the girls comfortable where they need to be. My daughter is one of her flyers, and Diana knows this. I always say, I fully trust that stunt because Summer is there. She is a lifeguard, and that is the truth. She's very hardworking and always positive. So Summer, congratulations as well. All right, Julie Sekarak, come on up. So Julie, also from the D12 team. I think Julie, I might have been coaching you since I'm in your 2nd grade, maybe? 1st grade, there we go. So we won't say how old you are because that makes me even older. But also from a great cheer family, especially with her dad, who might do toe touches for us if we ask him, or the chance. But really, thank you both for your support. But really, Julie always has such enthusiasm. What I will say, one thing I think that was a great experience for her is that what she was able to learn. She's very versatile now. I think she went from basing to now a flyer, all of her tumbling ability. She really got to showcase that. And again, on a national level was exciting. So again, congratulations to all 3 girls, super proud.
Great work, ladies. Thank you, coaches, and thank you for reminding us that cheerleading is not just about the athletic physical components, but girls, you clearly show your strength and your ability to put these routines together and know all of the memory, the work, and it's just one of those well-rounded sports that takes every single ounce of dedication and all of your skills. So ladies, thanks for making us so proud, young ladies, and for being role models to our younger cheerleaders, and best of luck to those that are going on to the high school. You're just going to keep soaring. So proud. Very good job. Council President, it is now your show. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to grow in this experience, quite frankly. So I want to thank you all, even on behalf of the Mayor and Borough Council again, for your effort. I think your team, your coaches mentioned almost up to 3 days a week, even more. So I want to thank you for your work ethic, for your selflessness. Even as they continue to push you all, it just means that you're very trustworthy, that they could trust you enough to put such pressure on you. And, it's to prepare you for the future as well. You will have pressure moments, and, instead of asking why me, just know it's because you are trustworthy to overcome it. So I want to thank you all. And on behalf of the borough and the mayor and the borough of Sayreville, I want to congratulate you for your placement in the AYC National Championships. Congratulations again.
Perfect. Congratulations, lady. This is congratulations. What more can I say except you got a coming season, and I want you to have a great season, have fun, and please stay safe because cheerleaders can get injured very badly too.
Hi, I think I said it before, where you learn friendship, you have leadership now because you've taken a step out. And the thing I remember most from cheering, and it looks like you all have that, is you had so much fun doing it. So I hope you still continue to have fun, continue getting awards, and good luck in the future.
Congratulations and good job. Thanks.
maybe if Councilman County has a comment online.
Sure, thank you. Hey, girls, congratulations. Great accomplishment. Congratulations to you two coaches, Kelly and Lori. Great job. They said such wonderful things about you. That must make you feel really good. I'm super proud to know you and to have you representing Sayreville. So congratulations again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much. At this time, I'll let the ladies have a seat, and coaches, before everybody leaves though for the evening, not that you all want to go racing out the door, I just wanted to let everybody know that if you are heading near Deerfield and Ernston, on Washington Road between Deerfield and Ernston, it's actually closed right now due to a car crash. So first and foremost, let's hope and pray that everybody is okay and that there are no injuries. But for those that are going to be leaving that way, you might want to avoid that area because you're going to run into more traffic. So try to avoid that area as you're going back home. Take Main Street as opposed to Washington Road for those that can, or try and go around that. That's between Deerfield and Ernston Road. Is that correct, Glenn? Okay, thanks, Glenn.
The county is currently salting Main Street and Washington Road too.
So with that, everybody that's leaving, please get home safely. And we are going to move on with the next portion of our presentations and proclamations. We'll just wait a few seconds so that council chambers can empty.
Thanks again.
So, ladies and gentlemen on the council, once you feel that the council chambers has emptied, I'm seeing only a couple of people left on my end. I'll turn over to Council President Anoha for our Arbor Day proclamation and our Art Month proclamation.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we can continue.
Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to our Arbor Day proclamation. So either Council President or Jessica, whomever wishes to read. Council President, it's your floor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And on your behalf in the Borough of Sayreville, we would like to proclaim that whereas the Borough of Sayreville was named Tree City, USA by the Arbor Day Foundation in honor of its commitment to effectuate urban forestry management, and whereas Sayreville obtained this recognition by meeting the program's 4 requirements: a tree board or department, a tree care ordinance, an annual community forestry budget, and an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. And whereas Tree City USA program was started in 1976 and is sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation in partnership with the United States Forest Service and the National Association of State Foresters. And whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, food, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And now, therefore, I, on behalf of the Mayor, Victoria Kilpatrick, Mayor of Borough of Sayreville, do hereby acknowledge that Arbor Day will be observed April 28th, 2023, and urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands to support our town's urban forestry program. In witness thereof, I've caused this proclamation to be and the official seal of the borough and duly affixed this 13th day of February 2023.
Now I just need a motion to accept our proclamation.
I make a motion that the mayor's proclamation be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Anoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to move on to our Art Month proclamation as well. Council President, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And on your behalf, we'd like to declare this. Whereas arts education contributes powerful educational benefits to all elementary, middle, and secondary students, including the following. Art education develops students' creative problem solving and critical thinking abilities. Art education teaches sensitivity to beautify, order, and other expressive qualities. Art education gives students a deeper understanding of multicultural values and beliefs. Art education reinforces and brings to life what students learn in other subjects. And art education interrelates student learning in art production, art history, art criticism, and aesthetics. Whereas our national leaders have acknowledged the necessity of including arts experiences in all students' education, therefore be it resolved. It is proclaimed that March be observed as Youth Art Month. All citizens are urged to take interest in and give full support to quality school art programs for children and youth. Now, therefore, I, on behalf of the Mayor, Victoria Kilpatrick, Mayor of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as Youth Art Month.
Thank you very much for that, Council President. Can I have a motion, please, to accept the proclamation?
I make a motion to accept the mayor's proclamation on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Anoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any reason for executive session at this point?
No.
Okay, we're going to move on then to old business with public hearing on the following ordinance, ordinance number 02-23. Jessica?
Ordinance number 02-23, calendar year 2023, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget, appropriation limits, and to establish a cap bank.
Okay, at this time, I'll open to the public for any and all questions relating to ordinance number 2-23. Please stand up and or raise your hand if you have any comments. I see none online at this time. Is there any in person?
No.
I see none in person. So at this point, I will entertain a motion. Administration and Finance Committee, that is Councilman Balca.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 3-23, an ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Sayreville to amend section 2-32 Environmental Commission.
At this time, I'll open to the public for any and all questions or comments regarding ordinance number 3-23. Please step up or raise your hand. I do not see anybody from the public online, nor do I see anybody stepping forward to the microphone. So at this point, I will entertain a motion from our Water, Sewer, and Environmental Committee. Councilwoman Roberts, please.
Move the public hearing be closed. The ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I do believe that we need to make appointments to our Sustainable Saraville Commission. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you have the paper document there, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. It'll take me a few seconds here in order to pull up that list because I don't have the paper copy of the most recent appointments for that. Let me just scan through very quickly. Let's see. If anybody has that close by, I would not be opposed to having somebody read those names off for me as
list. Mayor, if you'd like, Gianna Warnox.
Yes, that would be great. If you could read through those, because I believe all need to be appointed in order to fill that committee.
All right, so for Sustainable Saraville Commission, new application, 2-year member, Gianna Warnitz, student representative. Rebecca Garbowski, 3-year member. Meadow Magnani, 2-year member. Jennifer Dusko, 4-year member. Danielle Miora, sorry, Danielle, 4-year member. Erin Wern, 2-year member. B. Dugan, 3-year member. Rich Poplowski, 4-year member. And Elise Barone, 3-year member.
Thank you very much for that, Donna. I appreciate it. Do we need to have a motion and a second for those?
I'll make a motion to appoint all the people who I have just announced who have submitted their applications.
Yeah. Second.
All right, I have a second with that. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Okay, with that, I don't believe that I have any additional appointments to make. I am well aware of the zoning board circumstances, the Board of Adjustment circumstances. I see that we received another applicant. I am not making appointments at this time in reference to that board, as I believe that state statute does not require the council also to make that time, and the next meeting is not until the end of March. So we do have another council meeting before then.
I'd like to ask at the last meeting, I read the borough's ordinance on appointments. Now I'd like to read the state statute, because we were told that we were going to get a reasoning behind the ruling that was made. And we're sitting here 2 weeks later and we still don't know why. It says here, the mayor shall nominate with the advice and consent of the council and appoint all subordinate officers of the borough unless the specific term of the general law clearly requires a different appointment procedure. He shall, which is very sexist, should say they shall, but he shall make his nomination to any such office within 30 days of that office becoming vacant. So the mayor was obligated to make those appointments within 30 days. It is
I'm going to defer
to
to I'm going to defer to the borough attorney in reference to the interpretation of that statute and what that law is.
Thank you, Mayor. If I may, I'm citing NJSA, New Jersey Statutes, annotated 48:60-6, powers of the council, specifically to the borough form of government. And I'm going to read to you section D. The council, whenever it fails to confirm the nomination by the mayor of any official to a subordinate office of the borough within 30 days of being presented such nomination, shall make the appointment to that office, provided that at least 3 affirmative votes shall be required for such purpose, the mayor to have no vote thereon, except in the case of a tie. And in layman's terms, what that means is, Mayor, if you don't make a nomination for position, it stays open until such time that you make the nomination. If you make the, if you make the nomination and it goes down and you don't have enough votes, Then 30 days start to toll. And after 30 days, then the council would have the power to do that. I'm handing Ms. Novak a copy of the statute for her edification.
I do have that, but you're totally neglecting what it says the mayor must do. The mayor must or shall make the nominations within 13 days of a vacancy. We have one of those positions that has been empty for over a year. And what you're saying is if the mayor never appoints, then these things can, you're taking one part of the state law and you're totally neglecting the other part because there's the duties of the mayor and the duties of the council. The mayor had a duty to make those appointments within 30 days. She did not do that.
Therefore what?
Therefore, it's our appointment now.
No. Again, from the interpretation, it's
again
if her appointment fails, the 30-day process begins.
If that's what we have to do as a council,
and
we're obligated to do it within 30 days. Her appointment didn't fail. She is obligated to make the appointments within 30 days of a vacancy. So you're telling me
you don't like how she's doing her job? I get it, but that's not the point we're addressing right now.
We're addressing one point of the state statute while we're ignoring another one.
Let's address it.
I just did. I just read the mayor's duties from the same statute.
And therefore what? Therefore what?
The mayor is supposed to appoint within 30 days. Now, she can appoint within 1 day. She can appoint within 30 days. Then we have 30 days to make an appointment after that 30 days. Nowhere does it say the mayor could just refuse to make appointments.
Okay, if I
may. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, was that you, Sean?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, that's my legal opinion. It's been well researched. I believe that's the controlling statute. I know some members may not be happy about that, but that's the law. I know it conflicts with our ordinance. So the statute controls, the ordinance is superseded by the statute. And it is what it is, Mayor. So no matter how much you argue about it, it is what it is.
Our ordinance does not conflict with state statutes. Our ordinance just literally combines both of those sections of the state statute. And it clearly says here. I read it at this meeting.
I like to defer to the attorney when I can, as somebody that I believe, Sean, you've passed the bar and been practicing law for probably quite a long time. But I will also say this. One of the most important things that we need to do when we make appointments, especially to these quasi-judicial boards, and the zoning board is perhaps one of the most important boards, okay? Whenever we're dealing with land use, whenever we're dealing with boards like the planning board, the zoning board, or the redevelopment agency, we have to get this right. But the zoning board itself is much different than both of those other boards combined, because again, they hold this quasi-judicial role. And we only get one chance to make it right. And we're right now, with the exception of myself and Vince, who we might not be seated there in the flesh, but we are seated in our positions. Today is a monumental day. We have to, with hollow hearts, but in the interest of moving this borough forward, we have to now put another individual onto the council to serve in Councilwoman June Fort's position. That's huge. And considering that our zoning board does not have another meeting until after our next meeting, I think that it would be important to allow us to make a decision with a full council. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not 100% comfortable with some of the names that would have to be put forward. We also just had a recent resignation now from this zoning board. Is that correct? Jessica, did we receive a resignation from the zoning board?
Yeah, Dave Civilli. Yeah, it's been on the agenda.
No, just for the public, I know it's on the agenda. I'm just saying, we just had another resignation come in from the Board of Adjustments of Mr. Dave Civilli. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot, there's a lot coming before the zoning board. We need to have the best people in that place. And I think that it's incumbent upon us to allow a full council in order to make that decision as well. I'll only be able to nominate. At the end of the day, it's the council that's going to have to vote on it. Let's do it right. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can move on to really a the biggest part of today's meeting potentially here is actually the public hearing. I'm sorry, we have one more, the hearing on the submission of a grant application, but moving into new business shortly after that, we are going to be looking upon this council to name a new council person to serve in Councilwoman June Forth's position. So let's move forward with our public hearing on the submission of a grant. Mr. Skarzinski, do you need to state something before or after?
I could just brief the public, Mayor, and the council as required by the requirements for the grant application, if that'd be okay with you. Yes, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, just by way of explanation, the borough is seeking to submit a grant to Green Acres in the amount of, the application is the amount of $1.2 million to do some renovations to Kennedy Park, a rendering of which is on the table in the back for those of you that are interested in taking a look at it. Kennedy Park, as we know, is one of the centerpieces of recreation in the town, but it's 40, almost 50 years old and is in need of some tender loving care. So we're looking at this opportunity to achieve several things down there with this grant, should we so be awarded it. In the plans, and I guess I could have Jay speak to the more specifics about it, but we're looking to replace the walking trail, make it 8 feet wide instead of its current width. We're looking to do some sidewalk replacement, a complete renovation of the restrooms on the east end of the park to make them ADA compliant and more suitable. And then of course, some lighting improvements in and around the park. The remaining element is, and this is from where a good portion of our required match for the grant is going to come from, is going to be the reforestation of parts of the park, totaling almost the addition of 300 trees to the park to provide shade and a lot of the other benefits that our council president outlined in the Arbor Day proclamation. So I think this reflects the fact that the community is really standing behind and putting our money where our mouth is in terms of being a Tree City USA. To my mind, there is no mitigation in terms of environmental that needs to be done as part of this project, which is good. We're going to be leaving the park in the setting that it was created in almost 40 years ago. And in fact, we'll generally be creating a much more habitable environment for any wildlife that decides to visit us periodically in the Kennedy Park area. So we're looking by way of this resolution, council permission to submit this grant for $1.2 million, of which we have a $300,000 match to fully fund it. And it's our inclination, being that a good part of this project is involving the planting of trees, to leverage our tree fund in order to at least cover that aspect of the project. And generally, that's the briefing. We've advertised this as required by the law. Notices were published in our newspaper of record as well as on our website. And we are now obligated, with your permission, Mayor, and when you feel it prudent, to take any public comments on the application.
Glenn, did you say we could take the 300,000 from Shade Tree?
No, from the tree fund, and not the entire 300,000, but a portion of it.
Okay. Good to know.
At this time, is it then, usually we don't, this might be the first time. At this point, is it appropriate now to open to the public for this, or do we have to wait for this to come formally?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now that you've heard an outline of what this grant would encompass and what the plans are, if anybody would like to speak either from the public in person or online, please raise your hand or step forward. I see no one online. Is there anybody in the public wishing to come up? I'm just relying on my eyes that are there because I can only see the first two rows. Are we okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is exciting. Yes, Kennedy Park, what did you say? 50 years old. It's starting to show its age. So at this time, then we need to ask the public, the council to close the public portion, and we need a vote on this.
Right. I move the public portion be closed and the resolution approved on the next.
It's on the resolution.
Oh, so it's in the, okay.
Second.
We need a roll call now.
Yes, councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Conti.
Yeah.
Oha. Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially moving into new business. And at this time, what we were seeking is nominations to fill the vacancy of Councilwoman Eunice June Ford's unexpired term until the certification of the 2023 general election.
I make a nomination of Kenneth Kreisman.
Do we have to put three names forward first, or we're just, I didn't know how this.
Yeah, Mayor, I think it would be appropriate to read the three names that were submitted by the Republican committee.
Donna Roberts or Council President or Dan Balca or even Jessica.
The three names are John Zabrowski, Kenneth Kreismer, and Steve Bukovic.
No, it's not. It's not.
But we ask how this process, we come about this process.
Sure. Do you want me to? Sure. Do you want me to cover that? Mayor, do you want me to brief?
Yeah, just for a second, please. I'm not there, and I just want to make sure that we don't have speaking from behind the podium. So what I will do is, I believe I heard what Mr. Olszewski had to say. At this point, and this does not happen very often, it's never happened as a result of a murder, that we are now replacing one of our council people. And that's not lost upon me. But what I will ask right now is for the interest of the public, if our attorney would please explain the process in which we have to go about making this new appointment.
Thank you. So the process is statutory. It's created by the New Jersey State Legislature. So this governing body is obligated to follow its dictates. Within 30 days of the vacancy, which we all know the tragic way that transpired, the party of the individual who was deceased, in this case, it was the Republican Party. The party within 30 days has to submit to the governing body three names. Yeah, I'm sorry, 15 days. Within 15 days, they have to submit the names. Within 30 days, the council has to vote to determine if one of those names will be going forward and being approved by the full council, both parties, Democrat, Republican. If this body cannot do that tonight, within 15 days of tonight, then it will return back to the Sayreville Republican Party for that body to make a decision as to which of the three would get the seat and which of those three would then serve until November. So I think the action before the governing body tonight is there was a motion made. If somebody makes a motion for one of those three, then the council has to act accordingly.
Now, just as a point of clarification, because again, this doesn't happen quite often. At this point, the council is now going to determine who is now serving in an elected position. And typically that is something that the public does through elections in November. Obviously, these circumstances are different. With that being said, is there an opportunity after those names are read that there is time for public portion before a vote is made? Or is it to the council's discretion to make this decision without discussion or comment from the public?
No, Mayor, there's no discussion or comment. However, as you know, at the end of the meeting, there is a public comment portion when they can talk about that or anything else they want.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. So we have now our three names that have been put forth again, and we are going to await a motion, which would then have to be seconded. Then what would happen is a roll call vote would be called. And if that motion is successful, then that individual that was named would then take that seat. If that motion is unsuccessful, then I'm assuming that another motion can be made for one of the other candidates. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and that process can go on for those three names, whether that be the first, the second, or the third.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Sir, we're having a process here. You can't keep jumping up like that. We're having a process. There's a period at the end of when you can address.
Well, I just want to say there's an irony in the fact that how we fought about appointments to boards and commissions, and then we're going to talk about we're going to appoint people here. Is there been a vetting of resumes? Do we even know who some of these people are?
That seems to be an irony, and somebody ought to get a look at that. This is a new world today. Thank you.
All right, and if I may follow up, Mayor, just briefly, it's a process that's created by state statute. The Republican Party could pick, Winnie the Pooh. If it was the Democrats, they could pick Humpty Dumpty. It doesn't matter what the resumes are. It doesn't matter the credentials. It doesn't matter. It's up to the political party of the person who is deceased. So if God forbid, if the person who deceased was a Democrat, the Democrats would be putting those three names forward. You make some good points, but it's not the law. It doesn't require resumes, any of that, okay? Thank you.
So in essence, at this point, the names come forward as a result of a Republican committee decision. However, that is handled, which I believe there are governing laws regarding that as well. These were the three names then that the Republican committee had placed forward and was submitted then by the Republican chairwoman, I believe, which is Karen Biebert.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, and we've got a motion on the table. Mary, you nominate Ken?
Yes.
Right? Okay. I'll second that.
Okay. There's a motion with a second. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Balca.
No.
Conti.
Yes.
Anoha.
No.
Roberts. No. Failed.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, at this point, out of the remaining names, is there a motion?
Can I make a motion to nominate John Zabrowski?
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Conti.
So I'm a no. Well, I got to be a no on that. I got commentary on that, but I'm a no. I'm going to hold my thoughts for after the final vote.
Novak.
No, with an explanation. Right now, John Zabrowski is being sued by several people from Sayreville Police Department. There are serious accusations made against him in that department, and I really feel that it's a bad precedent to set when this could be costing the taxpayers of this town millions and millions of dollars. Secondly, and we don't know the outcome of this, so to appoint him now, I have a question. Would John Zabrowski then be taking public safety, or are we going to reorganize all the committees?
You asking a question in the middle of the vote, or what?
Well, I have that question before.
I mean, that is not germane to this vote. We don't know at this point, even if he's going to get the position. So I think it's appropriate to vote on the candidate.
Well, I'm just saying, if this does pass, we are really going to have to reorganize, as John Zabrowski has a son in the police department.
Listen, there's laws for that.
As well, excuse me, as well as he is general counsel.
I want to go into accusations. There's accusations about you as well.
Excuse me.
Right. So you're excused.
Excuse me.
Waiting for your vote, by the way.
I'm allowed to speak. The public can't speak, but I
can. Let's just have a little decorum. Mary, if you wouldn't mind continuing with your statements, and then Council President, then I will allow you to also have your.
He's asking us questions, ma'am.
No,
I know.
I was just told it wasn't germane, so I'm not. What I am saying is that he has a son on the police department. He is now general counsel for a vendor that operates through the police department. It was a vendor that he recommended to the town, a couple of years before he retired, and now he is working for them as general counsel. So if this should be successful, I would really, we would have to reorganize all the committees. Thank you. And it's a no.
No. I'm sorry, Council President, did you wish to add in? No, you had mentioned that Councilwoman Novak did have questions. I didn't know if you wanted to respond to those questions in any capacity, even though we do know that.
I just thought the questions were inappropriate, but that she was even asking the question in the middle of the vote when it was rhetorical, wasn't even appropriate. But, our votes, Councilman Conti said he will reserve his comments. In respect to the public, they are forced to reserve their comments. So, we'll also join them. But our answer is a yes.
Roberts. Thank you, Council President.
Before I put my vote in, let me support Mary for having her say. She is entitled to ask questions so she can make the best informed decision that she can and support her decision. And Mary, I will always support you in your statements. My vote is yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I do believe that we now have successfully actually you have successfully voted to have John Zabrowski now serve in Councilwoman June Forth's position until that time of her expired term. My congratulations to John Zabrowski. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to being able to move Saraville forward. But my heart does still remain broken as we sit here, and I'm now looking at that empty seat. And I'll just ask that while there's no way to fill those glitter-studded heels, I do believe that Councilwoman June Forth is looking down upon us, and I hope that she will give newly appointed Councilman Zabrowski the strength and the wisdom to make the decisions that are in the best interest of our residents at all times. So with that, I do not know what the appropriate
he has to be sworn in.
Okay, so that swearing in will take place at which point?
Now.
Okay.
John, if you can come forward, please.
I, John Zabrowski,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
under
the authority of the people,
and
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of council person for a 3-year unexpired term expiring upon the certification of the 2023 general election according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Councilman Zabrowski, I don't know if the word is congratulations at this point, so I will say to you, welcome. Councilman Zabrowski, I extend my hand to you from home.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to be asked to be able to fill this responsibility. I'll do so dutifully and hope to serve and work well with my colleagues as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And with that, we're going to get right into business.
No, Mayor, excuse me. I asked a question before about realigning all the committees because of the conflicts of interest. The attorney at that time said it wasn't appropriate because the vote hadn't completed and we weren't sure that it was even going to be. I'd like to re-ask that question now.
Okay, so Attorney Sean, at this time, we do have that open liaison position, which technically, I believe in the past, the individual would then serve on that liaison seat that was left open by the council person.
Yeah, Mayor, and I know that the councilwoman has claimed there may be some conflict there, inherent conflict, which I am not educated about. So maybe it would behoove the council, myself and you to talk about it offline. I have no idea what any real or perceived conflicts may be. So at this juncture, perhaps it would be best to wait until the next meeting.
So what my thought would be, if the council is amenable to this would be my suggestion as mayor, is that right now, we currently have Vince Conti serving as the second liaison to the Public Safety Committee since we have lost Councilwoman June-Four. If we would remain with that intact right now until we have an opportunity to take a look and see what is the best placement and how to move forward, if a change is necessary for liaison positions, that we can just continue to keep those liaison positions intact the way that they are right now, and we can revisit that for the next meeting. And that would give our attorney enough time to turn around and research, entertain, and have discussions with our newest council person also. Is there any objection from the council in order to make sure that we do this appropriately?
I think giving our attorney till the next meeting is fair, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Is there any objection from the remainder of the council? Okay, so we'll revisit this. Councilman Zebrowski, for right now, you get to relax just a touch, at least with your liaison position. But I don't think there would be any issue with him continuing to serve in the remaining liaison positions on the other committees in the event that an emergency takes place, because Councilwoman June-Four did serve on 2 other committees as well as second and third liaison. Okay, seeing no objection then to that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward with the remainder of our agenda. I believe that we are now at the point of, let me just scroll through here slightly, introduction of the following ordinance.
Ordinance number 04-23, an ordinance banning smoke shops and vape shops as a permitted use in any zone district in the borough of Saraville and requiring licensure for all existing smoke shops and vape shops.
At this point, I'll turn it over to Planning and Zoning Committee. Councilman Anoha, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At this moment, I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on March 13th, 2023, regarding to ordinance 4-23.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Zanoha,
Yes.
Falca, yes. Conti,
Yes.
Novak,
yes.
Roberts.
Just to make sure that the verbiage that we talked about at the last meeting is not in the final ordinance, because it was in the online package that we received. So I think it's just to keep the paperwork tight.
Is the changes on there?
No, the changes were not taken off on the one that we just had. So
I think I may have sent it to you prior.
Okay, so with that caveat, yes.
Yeah, you did make the changes, correct?
So this copy that we're voting on has the changes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure before I voted that.
Zebrowski.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to move to resolutions and correspondence. If anybody from the public has a question regarding resolution items only, please step forward or raise your hand at this time. Ken Olszewski, I believe that's you.
That's correct, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Name and address, please.
Ken Olszewski, 108 North Edward Street, Saraville. Let me ask you a question about this procedure here. In view of the murder of the councilwoman and some other things transpired about name and address, is it essential that people list their name and address? Some people have asked me about that.
Yeah, 1 second. There is a period at the end of the meeting where you can talk about whatever you want. This is specific to the resolution that's pending.
Okay, fine.
If you could limit it.
I'll cover it then. My question is on resolution 2023-59. Explain what this is about.
Okay, so that's our rubber surfacing. Public Works is actually Vince Conti, but the rubber surfacing, Ken, if you remember a number of years back, one of the issues that we had within our parks was regarding the safety and really health hazards, as well as the overall cost and manpower to continually each year replace the wood chips and those things that are usually found around our playgrounds. So a number of municipalities had already started to move forward with that rubber surfacing. Initially, our first part that we saw had that was actually over at the Center for Lifelong Learning, and it was the they put that rubber matting in place. Over the last couple of years now, we try to find a way through our budget to look at what parks we can upgrade by using that rubber surfacing as opposed to the mulch. And this one is awarding a contract to the rubber surfacing. This year, we're looking at doing the Kennedy Park area, sections of Kennedy Park with that rubber surfacing.
Is that a kiddie park or something?
Which one is that?
The swings are in the tot lot. This was in our budget, our capital budget.
Okay, it was
Just
in the
getting
budget.
around to awarding the contract.
And is this a state contract?
Yes.
Purchasing cooperative.
And what's the amount of square footage that this covers? Do we know roughly? I mean, what this?
No, I'm going to tell you, I don't
Hey,
know.
do you know what that square footage is approximately?
Sorry, Mayor, I was not involved with the project, so I don't have that information.
We can get that information for you, Ken. I don't know what the square footage is. Vince, if you probably don't know something that specific, but it was something that was researched and put through, like Mary had said, through our budget process.
Yeah, I was just rough idea of what kind of an area this covered. That was my only question.
I can find that out for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We'll check with Phil.
Thanks for asking.
All right. Anybody else with questions regarding the resolutions or correspondence? Is that you, Mr. Bella?
Hi, Frank Bella, 5 Keenan Street. Follow up to Ken's question. This amount, I mean, I understand this rubber surfing, did this last for 10 years, 20 years? I know the mulch you only probably get 1 or 2 seasons out of, but how long will this rubber surfing surface be good for?
I can tell you, I can find out exactly what the warranty on, I don't know that right now, but the riverfront park that the county put in, they did that years and years and years ago, and it still looks brand new, you know, and back here too. But the riverfront park that the county did, that's been there for a good number of years.
My concern,
I'll get the exact amount.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I know we're not spending over $200,000 for wood chips, and this is only Kennedy Park. So.
Yeah, and it's a rubber surface. Have you ever been to one of the parks? This isn't our first park. The park at the soccer complex has this, and it's amazing. I had my grandson fall off the top of the slide, and he bounced on this stuff.
So it has a relatively long
With
life.
11 grandchildren, nobody can be too safe in a park. Thank you, though. I will find out your information now.
Mayor, if I may.
Oh, you knew?
Yes, you may. Go ahead.
I don't have the specifics, but I can share with the audience that our insurance company requires us periodically to do safety surveys of the parks. And this is a step toward enhancing the safety and reducing our risk of insurance claims due to injury on the tot lots.
Thank you for that, Glenn. We actually started when we first brought this forward. I believe one of the first parks that we did was actually the Burks Park tot lot area. And then we started to move from there over to the Borough Hall Park. And we tried to do it in a way that we could afford to do it by not looking at necessarily the largest park, but looking at the ones that were most utilized. We knew that we couldn't in the beginning take on the Kennedy Park resurfacing, but now it's come due. I will say that not just from the bouncing perspective of little bodies not now falling into those hardened wood chips, but one of the other things that became a safety hazard was the amount of fecal matter that was actually being found in that because animals were using it. Yeah, animals were using it basically as a litter box, and I don't think anybody wants their kids basically running through that. And so there's a reason for it. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody other comments in reference to our resolutions? I don't see anybody coming on the mic, and I see online. One more? Okay, thank you. I believe, is that Mr. Duffy?
Bob Duffy, 111 Merritt Avenue. On the smoke shop licensing and the banning, the people that are going to be getting
Sir, it was just introduced tonight, so there's no public hearing, but you certainly could talk about it at the end of the meeting.
Well, I thought that's what you just read, that ordinance.
Just resolutions.
We're doing the consent agenda resolutions right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody else for resolutions? I see none online once again. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to, is there anybody online? I don't see anyone online. So I need a motion for resolutions and correspondence, please.
No, just
No,
resolutions.
just the resolutions.
Oh,
I move the
sorry.
public portion be closed and consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Malka,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Anoha,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Zabrowski. And I do have one resolution that we need to read in full.
Okay, I'll have you do that now then.
Resolution 2023-62, a resolution accepting the Safe and Secure Communities Grant number 19-1219 with the State of New Jersey Federal Grant Program administered by the Division of Criminal Justice, Department of Law and Public Safety for the period of June 1, 2023 to May 31st, 2024. Whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Sayreville does hereby approve the acceptance of funding in the amount of $62,400 with a match equal to the officer's fringe benefits for a project under the State of New Jersey known as Safe and Secure Communities Grant Program number 19-1219 for the period of June 1st, 2023 to May 31st, 2024. And whereas the project is a joint effort between the Department of Law and Public Safety and the Borough of Sayreville for the purposes described in the application. Now therefore it be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Sayreville that as a matter of public policy, the Borough of Sayreville wishes to participate to the fullest extent possible with the Department of Law and Public Safety. The Attorney General will receive funds on behalf of the applicant. The Division of Criminal Justice shall be responsible for the receipt and review of the applications for said funds. The Division of Criminal Justice shall initiate allocations to each applicant as authorized.
Ladies and gentlemen, open to the public for any and all comments on the resolution just read in full. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion for that resolution.
I move that the resolution be approved on roll call vote. Did we open it
to the public?
Okay, open it. We have to open it to the public first, Vic.
Second.
I did already.
Oh, no. Oh, Jessica said you didn't. Okay.
Oh, I thought I did.
Okay. Are we opening it or closing it?
I opened it to the public.
Okay. Jessica didn't hear it. Okay. I move the public portion be closed and the resolution be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Malka,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Anoha,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Need a motion to accept the correspondence that's listed?
That the
Before we move that they're accepted, can we talk about that now, or do we have to open it up first? I just want to clarify the notice to adjacent community property owner that there's going to be a public hearing, and I looked at what they were planning to do. And we have a new ordinance in Sayreville that requires 20% offset for affordable housing. And they're doing an offset for affordable housing, but it comes up to 10% or less. Do they fall into that ordinance that we have?
Yes, they did. That's not the ordinance. It's actually it's the settlement agreement for COA.
So they do not have to put in the 20% set aside that our ordinance had recently introduced.
Because this would, because this was part of the whole consent decree for the COA, that's totally separate. What they had is in a separate agreement.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, I move the consent agenda resolution, excuse me, the correspondence be received and filed.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Malka. Yes. Conti.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to move forward with the mayor and council reports. We're going to start with administration and finance. That's Councilman Balca, please.
The administration is still working very hard on the budget, and hopefully we'll have next two meetings, we'll have an introduction, hopefully, and progress other than that.
Thank you very much. We're going to move forward with public safety then. Councilman
I just wanted to ask a question. Are we going to have a meeting just on the budget soon? Do we have a date on that? Glenn, she's pointing at you. She's not pointing at me.
Soon.
Soon. Okay, because we have to arrange
We
a
want to do the
special
same thing.
meeting.
We'd like to do the same thing you always did, so I don't want to change anything like that. So.
I just wanted to know if you had a date, set so that we could make sure that all of us are available, because it's got to be a totally separate meeting than a council meeting. So it might be, maybe we can get a couple of dates together and pass it around to the council to see. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, let's move on with public safety. Councilman Conti.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm probably going to blend the two together. I got a number of things, so they may go a little bit back and forth, but I will try not to let that happen. Hang on just a second, though, because my battery's going to die. Shoot.
Oh, great.
I'm going to try and do this while holding it up and on my charger. Let's see how that works. All right. So good news. The lactation pod has been delivered to the police department and is operational, which was a concern because we had female officers were their needs weren't being met with that, and that was very important that we do that, and that has been taken care of. So the chief informed me of that today, so I'm thrilled about that. Also, you've probably heard about it, maybe you haven't, but the PULSE program, which is the Proactive Union of Law Enforcement and Social Work Experts at the PD, has begun. This is a grant-funded program combining law enforcement with social workers to take a proactive approach to avoid and prevent forceful interaction. So the police department, and you can get it from their Facebook page, Lieutenant Novak conducted a podcast on this with the two social workers engaged in that conversation and presenting their credentials and what the program is all about. I think it's good. I think it's a really nice step to avoid forceful interaction and avoid conflict while the social workers getting involved as soon as possible with some of these situations. And, as I said, in hopes of avoiding any kind of conflict. So I'm eager to see how it goes. Hopefully we don't even have that much of that going on, but I'm eager to see how it goes, and the chief will certainly keep us updated on that portion. Looking at some reports out of the court, they are docketing quite a number of cases, and they are disposing of a number of complaints as well. I always look to see, how many moving violations are out there, because I know many people have often been concerned about speeding and whatnot. Over 600 cases docketed and over 700 cases disposed, which is good. And the court generates a minimal amount of income at this point for the borough, but they're turning the cases out, which is good at a decent pace. As far as the PD and reports, the count of offenses, very low. I haven't talked about these reports in a while. It's been a while since I was the liaison. So very minimal that's been reported, most of which is simple assault, which is hands, fists, etc., things of that nature. Some burglaries, half a dozen or so reported. Larceny, 35 cases. So, we see some things here. This is something to just keep an eye on with the PD and find out what proactive measures we're taking. Do we have something that's swelling out of control? Do we need to address that? Which is something that we'll continue to do with the police department. I did want to thank Mindy Schiffman and the Human Relations Commission for a really wonderful Black History Month celebration. Jarrett Lampkin was the main speaker there, and he was really terrific. He was just so entertaining and informative. I was really happy to be there. I did want to say thank you to him publicly. He's a wonderful individual, and he's a teacher in our school, the middle school, which of course I'm sure, Mayor, you know that. He's a great person. great individual. I'm excited that he's a teacher in our school. I tried to probe some of the kids to say, oh yeah, he's the DJ, the DJ guy. And it's like, yeah, that's one of the things that he does. But he's very, very well spoken and informative. I was really happy to be part of that celebration. Also, rabies clinic, May 6th, Saturday, 9 to 12 in the public works area. So there'll be that clinic. I also noticed that we are continuing to issue licenses for our new businesses, which is great to see. That's really what I want to start to look at a little bit more closely. 6 new licenses in February, one of which the Bombers Beyond Cafe. So kudos to the Board of Ed for getting that going. Very proud to see that very worthy endeavor open up on our main street here. So I was really happy. But six new licenses. We'll keep a track of that to see how we're growing within our town. Okay, Office of Construction, they continue to generate a steady stream of revenue for permits, fire, etc., violations, code enforcement, etc. Over 163,000 in revenue coming in from the construction office, which is terrific. I do want to say kudos to Jen Bell over at the Active Adult Center. Over 1,600 interactions in the month of January at the center, and that's everything: aerobics, arts and crafts, etc. Things that they have going on there, but they have such a wide variety of things. And I think it's great for our seniors and others to take advantage of that. So over 1,600 opportunities for
active adults, not seniors.
I said, and we called it the Active Adult Center, but I said seniors may go there to take advantage of it. In addition, we've got other active adults doing the same thing. So it's she's running a nice shop over there. So kudos to Jen and everything that she's got going on. We've got from Shade Tree, they've got a very a healthy agenda coming up over the next couple of months, where they are figuring out what trees and shrubs we need to buy for projects, where we need these trees and shrubs for upcoming things, Weber Avenue, UES, the parks. I know they have some memorials going up, one of which will be for Councilwoman June4. And they've been engaged in the plans for the transportation complex with the Board of Ed and figuring out what's going to happen there. At least they've been engaged in the conversation, and they've been working with Arsenal as well as far as planting of trees on Cheesequake. They also have in April, we said before, we got the Arbor Day program in April. We got an art contest in April. They'll start planting trees and shrubs. That month, they'll have the seedling program. And May, they'll continue on with that as well. The tree bank still has about $2.5 million in that bank. And, they will make good use of at least some of that funding over the next month or two as they make purchases to beautify our town. But I will say that one thing Shade Tree demonstrates is really solid teamwork. They have a really good team there working on, with one common goal. So I'm really happy to see that, and the teamwork is making the dreams work. So happy about that. I did meet with the directors within Public Works. I met with George and I met with Phil about a number of things. For starters, on the park side with Phil, over 1,300 man hours spent in January, and that's just really spent cleaning up our town and tending to things around our town in the parks, etc. So it's a tremendous amount of work. They have been out and about working on the fields as well, getting them ready. The nice weather has allowed them to do so earlier than expected, which is nice. They've got some good projects coming up with the international field at Borough Hall, and then the field down on Bordentown. So hopefully they will fix that lake that appears around second base and shortstop as well with a laser grading process there. So they're going to be doing some nice work there, get those fields up to par. They're out and about as well. I know they were down at SAA as well, dumping some dirt and helping spread that too. So they are out and about getting our parks ready, which is a great sign for us and for everybody that that spring, absent today and tonight, maybe spring will soon be upon us. But they share with me a long list of tasks that they do on a regular basis. So if anybody ever wanted to see that list to talk about it, we certainly could do that. They're checking off all the boxes around our town, which is great. Also, I talked with George and Tony about the roads, and they will soon be posting the 7 roads, if they haven't already, that are being reconstructed and paved. I know CME is working on design, and then they will go out for bids on that and get started on that as soon as feasible. And I know that there's some money that's put into the capital budget. So hopefully we can get that money through. And as long as we do, there's another 7 or 8 roads that they're going to mill and pave around town, which is really great. That is pending the capital budget conversations. But assuming that gets approved, then we will we'll mill and pave another 7 or 8 roads, which would be great for our town. And then as the time moves along with these projects, if there's a way, because Jay often pops a little present on us where a project comes in under budget, then maybe we could reallocate some of that money if other projects come up that we didn't account for this year. So maybe we'll get lucky that way as well and be able to squeeze out some more work. Just want to get as many roads repaired, paved, etc. for our residents. There's a lot to talk about there, though, because with the new EPA requirements about storm sewers, storm drainage, etc., it's going to be a heavy burden on us. So as far as staffing is concerned, at some point, and I touched on it with Glenn, and it'll be a later conversation as far as getting more people in the borough to work on these requirements, because it's a lot for us. It's a lot for us to do that we haven't been doing thus far. One of which is probably that we'll need to get another street sweeper at some point too, and get 2 of them out there instead of the one we have from, I think, 2006, and try to sweep those roads, which is a requirement in the EPA. So we've got issues that we've got to address, and we'll be talking with the right people about that soon enough, and get that and get it addressed, and figure out the path forward, whatever that may be. Let me see. That is that's it. All right, I think I covered everything I wanted. Thanks for your attention. Sorry to be so late. I appreciate it.
Wait, Madam Mayor, before we transition to the next department, do you mind if I add a few more comments to Councilman Conti's report regarding to public safety as the third chair, as the liaison?
Of course.
And I appreciate, Councilman Conti for his superfluous report. All right. So in addition to that, though, I know that a lot of folks from the public do reach out to myself personally, even as far as my cell phone. So I know that many folks in the public do reach out regarding safety towards the active ongoing investigation of our departed councilwoman. So I do want to respond to a few of those that constantly reach. So just want to emphasize that it is an active ongoing investigation. So therefore the police really may not, speak towards it or answer any questions directly. So just want to let you all know officially. For those that have reached out regarding, and of course, I do understand my Councilman Conti may not, refer to this, but many folks have reached out recently regarding some of the news of, the comments from the PBA president, towards his remarks towards Councilman Jumfor as public safety liaison. For those who have their thoughts and their comments towards that and how that may pertain to their public, I want you all to know that, the prosecutor and the lead investigator did publicly state that they do not believe that the public is in any particular harm or danger. So that's their only official comments towards that so far. You know, so for those that have been reaching out, we just want to thank you for your vigilance. And for the many folks have reached out with messages of videos, hearing the number of gunshots. And again, this is a case that is beyond just Sayreville. It's a lead investigation beyond our town. So as you reach out, I just want to clarify that it's still active, it's still ongoing. But I think we do all know, who have the pulse of it, that it is probably the top public safety concern so far. So for clarity, the prosecutor stated that they don't believe it's you know, of any danger to the public. And you know, regarding the letter, for those who understood of the OPA request, nonetheless, the prosecutor doesn't believe that anyone is in danger with that. And regarding how the police is going with the investigation, whether those who are part of the union or not. So I just want to add those comments from what I've been receiving so far, and you know, just to state that for the record as well. And thank you for everyone's involvement, especially Councilman County and the rest, regarding our public safety. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments, Council President. Because we are on that topic, I was going to save it for my mayor's portion, but I will piggyback off of what Council President has said. I have received a lot of calls, emails, stopping, you name it, in reference to the investigation surrounding Councilwoman June Forrest's murder. I have personally, as I've stated to everyone that's reached out, I have personally heard nothing from the prosecutor's office, from the FBI, Sayreville PD, or any other investigating agent in reference to Councilwoman June Forrest's murder. I did reach out to Crime Stoppers, which I found out is a division of actually the prosecutor's office, over a week ago, asking them for their support and their assistance in trying to set up a anonymous tip line, and also potentially offering a reward similar to what they did when the wall was vandalized on Cheesequake Road. I have not heard back from them in reference to their efforts about actually having a Crime Stopper tip line and or reward offered for any information regarding leading up to the capture of the person that murdered our friend. So I wanted to add that. Basically what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is this is still an unsolved murder. I have faith, though, that the work is being done, but I would be lying if I didn't say there was a bit of frustration as we all wait to find out, you know, what, who, and why. So for many people, one thing I will say, and I've had this conversation already with the business administrator, is my concern is not just for our elected officials, but also for our public and for the people that work in Borough Hall. I would like to turn around and set up a meeting so that way we can actually talk with our police department in trying to create a more safe environment. Councilwoman June Ford died as a councilwoman. We don't know why, how, or what the reasoning was. I want to make certain that all of us are as protected and safe as possible. So I would like to work on coming up with a strategic plan of safety for our borough buildings, as well as at all of our public meetings. So that way people can feel comfortable coming here. I'm excited to see that there are a lot of participants online right now. There's over 75. But let's not mince words here. I mean, somebody killed Councilwoman June Ford horrifically, heinously. And I'll feel a lot better when we know who that is and they're brought to justice. With that, we'll move forward with Water, Sewer, and Environmental. Councilman Roberts, please. Oh, I'm sorry, Council President, did you want to say something?
I remembered one more thing that a lot of folks reached out to me on regarding public safety as well. For the record, I do recall that I think the governor also had comments on it so far as well. And I encourage everyone, please, no need to ask me because he didn't get any details from me. I didn't speak with the governor in any capacity. So any of his comments, it's not his reference to my knowledge of our local politics. As many had reached out, I think he had specific comments that he was willing to speculate towards the active ongoing investigation, that he doesn't believe it was politically motivated. So I know there's many folks in the public who may have their thoughts, their comments on that, if that was a view of the local government. I personally have not expressed my views publicly, for the record, and I don't believe any of us as a governing body has. So we just want to emphasize that as well. If you do hear other elected officials beyond our local government, I don't believe that's coming from us. I think you can reach out to the governor towards that. I think he cited some of his sources, whether it was the local I think Karen Beawood, our municipal chairwoman, and other folks who are connected to politics that gave him such details for him to speculate towards his viewpoints on the active ongoing investigation. But for the record, I don't believe it's coming from we as your elected officials, all right? So just want to clarify this, from a public safety standpoint for those that have been reaching out, that have been asking. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Council President. We're going to move forward with water, sewer, and environmental. Councilwoman Roberts, please.
Okay, I had to make a switch, so it's actually Mary's going to go first. According to standing committees, it's supposed to be.
Okay, that's fine. Recreation then, Councilwoman Novak, please.
Okay, I'd just like to say that I have a list of all of, well, not all, but most of the events that are going to be for this coming year. I'm going to read it off, but it's also going to be up on the borough's website by tomorrow afternoon. Our Easter egg hunt is Saturday, April 1st at 9 a.m. at the War Memorial Park. May 6th, Saturday at 9 a.m. Fishing derby at Kennedy Park. And although it's not mentioned in here, usually the HRC has their fun walk on the same day. So you go to Kennedy Park and you really can participate in a lot of different activities. So it's good. But that's not done by the Recreation Department. That's by the HRC. Okay, July 1st, Saturday at 4 p.m., Independence Day celebration at Kennedy Park. August 1st, it's a Tuesday, the summer play date. National Night Out, they're looking at combining those at the War Memorial Park. September 9th, Saturday, 12 o'clock, Sayreville Day at Kennedy Park. September 10th, Sunday, Blast from the Past car show. The time is still being, they still don't have an exact time on that. The car show, Blast from the Past car show at Kennedy Park. October 14th, Saturday, 9 a.m., Hit the Bricks Trail Run at Capic Reserve. October 27th, Friday, 6 o'clock, Halloween Trick or Trunk at Jerry Ust Complex. December 3rd, Sunday at 6 p.m., the Parade of Lights. These are if you're not going to remember all of that, but it will be up on the website by tomorrow afternoon. Also, I'd like to say I had the privilege of attending an Eagle Scout Award this past weekend. I was able to give out proclamations from the town, and Donna provided challenge coins. And let me tell you, the kids are really excited about the challenge coins, Donna. And this was, to me, such a really, I've gone to so many Eagle Scouts Award, and believe me, all of the projects have been exceptional. I've loved to go on, but this one, it was 3 children from the same family, and 2 of them were girls. I've never seen Eagle Scouts with girls before. So it was Emily, Sean, and Molly Wright. Congratulations. Congratulations to the parents too. Vince touched on it a little bit. Black History Month, it was very well attended, and I give credit to the HRC. It was probably their best one so far. A lot of information and fun at the same time. So that was a really good night. Vince already talked about Pulse. Please, if you want more information on exactly all of the statistics, YouTube has the video. You can just go to that, but also on Facebook, on the police page. I believe it's on Sayreville page also. And it's been shared so many times on the community pages. You can find it almost any place on Facebook. It's only a 15-minute video, but it's excellent. And it'll explain, you'll feel so much more confident in everything that's going on in this town if you do take the 15 minutes to listen to that. Let me see, I've got so many things here. Oh, a reminder again, we have our free meals Tuesday afternoons given out at the Active Adult Center. And I want to thank the people, all of the workers in there, Jen Bell and all of the young people that come out and help us give them out. It starts at 4:30 in the afternoon when the meals are delivered, and we give them out until we run out or people stop coming. So please come. They're free and they're good and they're open to everybody. There's no, hey, are you poor? No, that's not it. This is free meals for everybody. And please, please come. What else? Well, I'm going to Donna loves to give these. She started this for the Sarah. I think that's why you wanted to be first. We attended a Sarah meeting the other night that I'll tell you was just spectacular. Something that we have been looking for and hoping for, and quite frankly, even for people in the know, we're kind of not believing it anymore. But there was a presentation by Bass Pro Shop. They are really coming. They are looking to have their permits for footings by April. And, we start to go vertical by August. Is that what, am I correct in that? If everything goes all right? Yes. Yeah. So they're going, instead of waiting to get everything together, and get all the permits at once, they're looking to do, step by step. So the project will start to move forward. I do have some pictures, and I mean, it's really exciting. If anybody wants to see them, please, I'll leave them out. They are just renderings, but the new designs that they actually are changing it just a little bit, not the square footage, not the footprint, but in different ways to make it even more attractive. So it's going to be the first part of the Rivington project that people are really going to see. And I was very, very excited. I'll let you talk about that. Oh, that's okay. There's two projects that we talked about, but I was so excited about that. And Mayor, other than that, progress.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Water, Sewer, and Environmental, Councilwoman Roberts, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended Black History Month, and I found it to be very informative and inclusive, which was very wonderful and refreshing. I do want to send out congratulations on the Pulse program and the podcast. Absolutely wonderful, great communication. And I do want to send a thank you out to Vinny for Public Works. I sat in on a rent leveling, and a topic came up about a light on Bamehurst in Maine, and Vince jumped right on it. I do have to give you her phone number to follow up, but thank you for following up on all the street lights. I know he's been working on that. So I do want to say thank you. We do try to work together. We can't all be everywhere at once. So Mary, thank you for being at the Eagle Scout Awards. I love going to those. I just couldn't go to that one. I do want to mention before the planning and zoning is introduced that they are doing a master plan rewrite now. And if you're ever interested in planning and how the town is planned, this is the time you want to go to planning meetings and get involved to see what the planning is going to be for all of the next 10 years and what we've got in place. I also, before I go into my report, I want to congratulate and welcome our new councilman, John Zembrowski, for joining our council. And the most exciting part of my report, of course, is water and sewer. So we had one water main break during the month of January. We have roadway restoration for Roosevelt Boulevard. We have some hydrant repaintings. We have identified 698 services to date with the lead and copper that we're reaching out for. And the big ones are the service calls, repairs, and meter installations generated 351 work orders in January. So nice job, Water Department. I'm sure I forgot something, but thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you very much. And now over to Council President for Planning and Zoning.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. Regarding planning and zoning, we're excited that, on our planning board, we did resolve on a new attorney. So, want to especially send our congratulations to him and our excitement to work with all the new members and current members of the planning board. And as Councilwoman Roberts touched on, for sure, we are currently discussing our master plan for our borough, where we discuss our objectives and our plans and even policies, which we believe that our ordinances will fall in line with. So I'm very excited to work with our members to begin to have that discussion along, as well as the public and our hired staff. And of course, this is a master plan to set forward our policies and our agenda for the planning of our town for the next 10 years. So we do encourage everyone to be a part of our planning board meetings. We're looking forward to more progress with our other boards as well, as we expect to hire attorneys and fill out more members through your appointment and our vote. In addition to that, we do have our upcoming meeting for planning board on March 1st, where we will have a public hearing, as Councilman Roberts touched on, regarding the notice for adjacent community. So we're looking forward for anyone who has questions or concerns, even with our body as well, to feel free to let your presence be felt in our next coming planning board meeting on March 1st. Thank you, and progress in addition to all of those.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Council President. Just one question, because I didn't get to actually tune in to watch the redevelopment meeting. Was that held in council chambers this last time?
It was. Yep, we were right here in council chambers, and I do believe that our meeting moving forward will be hybrid as well.
I know the planning board was. I meant for the redevelopment agency.
No.
So it was held in 308?
Yes.
Was there a reason given for that? I believe at the last council meeting, we had discussed that should be moved here, so that way they would be able to house more and have more people publicly participate. Was there a reason given by the chair?
They're just, the reason that was given here was that they couldn't hear what was being said in that room. Unfortunately, I have just as many complaints that they can't hear what we're saying at this meeting when they're watching it or listening to it either. But the other reason was that it would be Zoom also, and we don't have anybody that's capable of doing that. The meetings are recorded and you can watch them live, but we don't have the capability, so it doesn't really matter. The same equipment that's in here is in room 308.
Ma'am, you're on Zoom right now. It's the same equipment, so those reasons don't suffice from our standard. All right.
They don't have somebody to run it, Christian. You don't.
Anyways, our base administrator. Okay.
I think we can find somebody to help them run and get comfortable. So, listen, this is about transparency, people, and you just said it yourself. We have the biggest project coming forward into this town, which is Riverton. I'm so excited to see that they're moving forward and that Bass Pro is actually coming here because, again, it started to make its way into the urban legend round, which I believed it was always going to be here. But when I look at the meetings from the redevelopment agency being held in essence, a closet of a room, 308, without the monitors, without the ability for the public to come in, without this large forum, I'm sorry, but that is just not acceptable anymore. So we will make certain here, Mr. Skarzinski, please make sure that our technology director or his friend, or I shouldn't say his friend, his only other employee, assist them in making sure that they can run that meeting appropriately here with the technology that we have in place. Our residents are asking for it and they deserve it. Every other board is able to function in this room. There is no reason why the redevelopment agency should be any different. So we're putting that forward again. If the chairman is still opposed to that, I'm starting to get more concerned. We need to open up our boards and our commissions to more people. Billions of dollars, not millions, billions of dollars are involved in negotiations and discussions and things that happen in the redevelopment agency. It needs to come to this forum. So like I said, Glenn, please reach out to the redevelopment agency. Let them know that for their next meeting, all the technology necessary, training, whatever has to happen will be done for them until they are comfortable with running it on their own. Moving forward, thank you. Open to the public for any and all comments for the good of the cause. Anybody wish to speak, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Okay.
My name is Christopher D. Pascal. My address is 52 Keir Street, Parlin. And two things I wanted to bring forth to the board was one, I knew several years ago there was some companies around town cutting down trees. It hasn't happened in several years. I myself own a large motorhome that when I drive through my development, it hits my RV and I actually have to drive down the street to avoid the trees, not the cars, which could be dangerous. We do need to pay attention to some of the low-lying trees in town That's one thing. 'Cause I actually had to go in my development. I cut them down myself so I can get in and out without having to drive around them. So that's one thing. Also, I have a auto body shop in town that I'm on the towing list. And the towing list has not been updated in a very long time. Every town around us has much higher rates than us. And that needs to be addressed. I'm going to just assume, but I don't believe this has been just adjusted since like maybe the 80s or 90s. So like we're charging $100 for a regular tow. Other towns are $250 to $275, all like East Brunswick, Old Bridge. So the storage rates that we're charging $30, other towns are charging $75. So these ordinances for the towing rates really need to be looked at and adjusted to the current standard of what's in the neighboring towns. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. I have to be honest, I don't know much about towing rates and how that gets put together or not. I know that maybe just a couple of meetings ago, we did do there was something on our agenda in reference to recognizing the different towing companies. I think it's quite a long list now, but I don't know anything about those ordinances in reference to the dollar figures. So Glenn, you have any info on that?
We're looking that up right now, and I gave Mr. DePasquale my card. We'll chat tomorrow about the tree issue with him, and we'll do the necessary research on the towing ordinance.
Okay, thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, 10.
Okay.
Okay. Frank Bella, 5 Kenan Street. I guess, Mary, let me ask you. So these apartments that are going up now at NL, there's no COLA housing, but there is. There is.
Yes, there
How
is.
many of
It's
those
part of that.
130?
You know, Jay, 7.
7.
There's the
Okay.
man of the hour.
And does that proportion, I mean, there's 2,000 residential for that site.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
don't think it's 2,000. No.
No, there's two different issues. The National Ed property that's listed on the agenda is behind the Costa Verde.
Okay,
That piece
that's
of
not
property.
that's not
It's
redevelopment
132
area.
units, 7 are part of the affordable housing plan.
Okay. What about the Riverton National lead site? Is there a COLA proportion there? Or are they
Yes.
part of the consent agreement?
Yes. What was it, 200 units?
There's 200.
200
10%.
units. Yep, 200 units.
All right, thank you.
Mayor,
Was it 200 or 300 units?
It may have been 300. Yeah.
oh,
It's 300.
it says I'm wrong. It's 300.
It's 300 units at the NL site.
Yep.
And when I say NL site, I'm sorry, let me read right that at the Riverton site,
Riverton.
North American Property site, the National Lead property behind Costa Verde, that was a whole different situation. I'm telling you right now, I wasn't happy with the way in which that negotiation went down, but that's something called builder's remedy that they really used to their advantage. It was part of a lot of frustrations with that particular site behind Costa Verde. Ken?
Ken Olszewski, 108 North Edward Street. I want to follow up on what I talked about before, this public portion. What I experienced here tonight in appointing a councilman, to me is considered kind of a joke. And let me tell you why I mean that. And first of all, let me say, this has nothing to do with the people who were applicants or Mr. Zabrowski, Councilman Zabrowski, who got appointed. I'm talking about the process here. You know, when we talked about it a little earlier, I brought it up. When we have an applicant to serve on a board, they have to sign a piece of paper that says that they've never been convicted of a crime, et cetera. We don't even know who these applicants were. What kind of a joke process is that? Let me ring off some of the things the taxpayers are being stuck for right now in this borough. And that's a little bit of what I'm talking about. We all know, we talked about it tonight, we got an unsolved crime of a councilman having been murdered. We have unsolved crime of major construction site damage on Minisink and Chesapeake Road. We have charges that were filed against a former Democratic committee chairman in town. We have a councilman who was forced to resign apparently because he committed a felony in New York, used some other excuse for resigning, but that seemed to be what the record said. We've had an embezzlement in our court. That's just in our town, and that's only a brief. That's only a very brief thing. I just wrote down when I was sitting there. Do you possibly think anything here could have been prevented or done better if we had vetted some of these people and some of these incidents better? We have a United States congressman sitting in Washington. I think we all know, it's been on the news for weeks, that apparently was an actor that should have been on Saturday Night Live, taking the place of John Lovett, the liar who was on there. Talked about how he had dates with movie stars and stuff like that. It appears that that congressman just made up a bunch of stuff. And I guess, again, that's because there's no real screening. There is nothing done to check on some of these people. Now, I'm going to say I take a pass on people who have run for office, because shame on the opposite party, shame on the press for not vetting them properly. But it just tells you the joke that's going on and the joke we experienced tonight. And the public, we don't even have the process. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Attorney, for reading that off, but it doesn't really tell us everything. Was that process followed? Does it require a vote of the committee? Was there a vote of the committee? Do we know any of that stuff? No, we're sitting here in the blind. And if we're going to blame this on a statute, it's your obligation, and I'm talking to everybody sitting up there and everybody at home here. It's your obligation to try to change some of this stuff. Instead of the cursing the darkness, you need to find a way to find the light. And that's why you're sitting here. And that's what you told the public you would do. And to hide behind some kind of an outdated law. The world has changed over the years since a lot of these laws have been put in effect. And you're not really doing the job if you're not trying to find the light to how this stuff should be changed, because you're scamming the taxpayers of this town. And what I didn't mention, and let me ask, how much is it costing us, the taxpayers, for this investigation that came forth? I don't know what it's on, but it came forth after the charges were filed against the former Democratic chairman. What's the status of that? Is that investigation going on? Who's investigating it? And how much have been charged so far? And what did the resolution say on how much is in here to suck out of the taxpayers of the Borough Reserve? That's the real question. Why am I upset? I'm upset for the people that can't pay for this stuff. Yeah, I'm upset for the people out there trying to pay their taxes, trying to pay these outrageous food prices, trying to pay for energy, gasoline, et cetera. And we're sucking money out of taxpayers and hiding behind some ridiculous, obsolete law.
That's 5 minutes. Thanks.
Anybody have any answers to any of that?
Ken, that's our 5 minutes.
I understand. Oh, I understand the 5 minutes, but are there any answers? Anybody? I think that the council people can take as much time as they want.
I'll answer one thing for you, Ken. I believe that the RFPs are due tomorrow. Is that correct? For the a special investigator to be hired, special attorney. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yes.
So, Ken, I can tell you this: there's been no dollars spent in reference to investigating the boards that I had concern with, that I wanted to make sure were on the up and up after the arrest of the former chairman of the Democratic Party. So no monies have been expended because nobody has been appointed to that serving that role yet.
Okay, and we, of course, in a resolution to do that, we'll have an amount that to not exceed, I'm sure.
No.
Oh, there won't. Oh, this is open-ended then.
Yes.
Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
If I may comment, ultimately, again, you spoke on a good amount of things, right, regarding our borough and, of course, beyond, right, as far as even Washington, D.C., right? So, of course, I don't think everything can be attended to. However, you made lot of interesting points, and I want to thank you for that, right? Regarding our new addition to council, right, and how that process goes. As you mentioned, outdated laws, right? That's why many of us ran to see how we can improve on that legislation. This scenario is unprecedented, as you know, right? So many of us were even learning some of those laws as well, right? But the law is the law nonetheless. And in this scenario, we are going off of the nominees that was by the party that our departed councilwoman was a part of, which is the Republican Party, right? So according to the law, they are the ones to bring up the nominees. And the vetting process is not by the borough, but by that committee, right? So who is in the leadership of this committee? When did they hold this meeting? You know, what was the minutes within this meeting? What were the questions asked, right? To see how they created that list. How do they feel about pilots? All this information, ideally, we would have gotten from that committee meeting, which I think according to their bylaws would have been a vote, right? So this should be information that they, out of good heart, should make public and should give details. And then that would give the framework as to how the borough government now received this from the party, right? So again, some of the questions you're asking is not necessarily questions that we can directly answer because there's a step-by-step process to this. You may not like the process. I agree that it may be outdated. That's why we're here, and hopefully we continue to be here to see how we can bring it up to date. But as of now, specifically, what you're referring to, it's unprecedented. So it's a call to action for sure, and I can acknowledge that.
Thank you for that information. I'll close by saying that you speak, I've said this before to all of them, you speak for 45,000 people. I speak for one person in the borough of Somerville, me. You speak for 45,000. So if their things are wrong, I brought suggestions that you should be taking to our state senator, to our assembly people. Our speaker is right, he's in our district here. You should be taking that stuff to them if you don't agree with it. If you agree with some of the stuff that's been brought up by me or others, you should be going to them. You should be passing a resolution on behalf of 45,000 people in the borough served. And if you're not doing it, you're just sitting here blowing off and not doing anything. Thank you.
All right. I do believe we have participants online that would like to speak. Mr. Syed?
Yes, this is Galib Syed, 3 Sophie Street, Parlin. Firstly, congratulations to new councilman. And honestly, I will echo the same sentiment what Kent has just raised. The appointment should be really known to the public prior to the appointment. But again, as Christian has highlighted, that is a party decision. And it was the departed councilwoman was from the party, and they have opted to choose this new councilman. So understood. But again, it should really be more in line with democratic process, and the laws should be refined and better defined. Having said that, I'm going to come back to our departed councilwomen's investigation. Although Christian has mentioned a few of the words earlier about where the investigation, not exactly where the investigation is, but again, some points that what is happening at the back end, which they don't have much exposure to it. However, I am, and many of us are very disappointed in the slowness and the speed at which it is progressing. It's been almost a month. In 1 month, we have a new councilman selected, but we don't have, of course, the investigation. We are talking about investigation happening in the United States of America. And so we have all the technology, we have all the best of the best investigators. We go and send our investigators abroad. So we should seek help if our local law enforcement agencies, I'm not sure, again, I'm saying I am echoing this, that we should seek out any kind of assistance to speed up, to bring up this at the level where we can go and say that we got it. We got the the murderer, and we will go and give 100% justice to her. So again, all in all, the bottom line is, as a resident of Saraville, very disappointed that is not. And then of course, Madam Mayor has mentioned that she has conversation, or I'm not sure if the Christian mentioned that you had conversation with the prosecutor office, and they have assured that it is not really public safety issue. I say that it's a public safety issue. One murder in my town is many murders. Okay, too many murders, I should say, right? So it is a safety issue. I don't know who is targeting me, who is targeting XYZ, for what reason, right? So that is a public safety issue. And I'm not going to take that as a light or as a statement that it is not a public issue. It is a public issue. So we should again seek out. And of course, there are communities who are at the back end also are worried about that, why we are not seeing actively. And also my question here also is that either of these officials like yourself, are you meeting every week, seeking out the information daily, monthly, weekly, any of the information is getting, are you being updated or not? So if you are not being updated, I'm not sure. So that's the question I have. So that's councilman and the new councilman, and then also we have the disappointment. Your meeting with officials, the prosecutor office, police department, or feds, what exactly we are getting. So that's other thing. We need to really make as a citizen of this town, or as a community of this town, we owe that information should be passed to us, that what is happening. Of course, on certain situations that we have tight lips, but there are occasions there has to be some way to update the community that we are actively working, and step 1, 2, 3, whatever has been done. Again, at the end, I'm going to say Black Life Matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Syed. I hear everything you're saying, and I feel your same level of frustration. As I stated earlier, I've heard absolutely nothing from any of the agencies that are working on this investigation as far as progress. My biggest fear is this. I don't want Eunice's name to be forgotten, and I don't want this town to forget that she deserves, and her family deserves, justice. And the sooner that comes, the better I think we'll all feel. I'm patient to a certain extent. Hopefully I will hear something back, at least to allow people to call into tip lines to hopefully get more information. Hopefully I'll hear back from Crime Stoppers. Like I said, they were able to very quickly put something up in reference to the destruction of the wall over on Cheesequake Road, but I have not heard anything after speaking to them over a week ago. Hopefully I will hear something soon, but I share in your frustration. I share in your concern, your worry, and I am concerned for the safety of all of our residents. So thanks, Mr. Syed. Let's move on. I see nobody else online. Anybody from the public wish to speak, you can come up at this time. If not, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Mayor, we have somebody's hand up. Can you see?
I see in the front. Yes, front row. I can see in the front row. Please step forward, sir.
Hello, good evening. How are you, everyone? Hope you're feeling okay. My name is Abdullah Muhammad. I'm 11 years old in 6th grade, and I live at 4207 Wells Drive, Parlin, New Jersey. And I am here to speak about the community center, and my request is to keep it open. And this community center is basically my place for socialization, especially because I'm homeschool and my family is basically almost all homeschool. This is the place that I go to for socialization, and this is the place and this is my go-to all the time. It has everything from sports and games for youth to family nights and everyone, for big and small people. This is the ultimate place to go, especially for people who need a lot of socialization and for all ages and genders. So my request is to keep this masjid open. Thank you and have a good night.
Wow, thank you so much. What an articulate young man, 6th grade. That is unbelievable. We hear your concerns. I hear your concerns. And hopefully things are moving along quickly with this. Anyone else from the public? I see someone stepping forward. Please come forward, sir.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to begin in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Madam Mayor, council members. We listen.
You have to give your name and address.
Oh, my name is Nazmul Saheb, Director for the Islamic Center, 216 Erston Road. 2 weeks ago, we have listened carefully of all the broken hearts within this community, after which we have taken certain steps where we have provided the plan to the appropriate authorities. It was presented and we are still waiting for that permit to bring it to the regulations of the city. We want to do everything possible to ensure safety for our community and at the same time to provide an opportunity to give us a way that we can set this right. And as such, we ask you, we implore you to speed this process for us in order that we can start working to bring it to the code and the regulations of the city. Just to let you know that one of the holiest months of the year for the Muslims is Ramadan, which is about approximately maybe 20 days away. And this is so important for the community to gather at this time. This is the best time for the lives of the year, the best time for the worshipers. And I implore the council, please help us to speed the process in order that we can start the process of getting everybody to safety and we can get the center open so that the community can be together again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public? I do not see anybody on. Oh no, I do have a couple people online. Let's see, Mr. Izzo.
Mr. Rizzo, unmute yourself. Is it muted?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, good evening. Robert Izzo, 21 North Edward Street. If possible, not to throw you under the bus, Mary, but would you be willing to expand on what you had spoken about earlier before Mr. Zebrowski was appointed to council, as far, not necessarily the several lawsuits or the conflict of interest of having a family member on the department being the safety liaison, but more so the company he deals with and the conflict of interest that has with the borough?
That wasn't me that was speaking. That was Mary Novak.
No, I'm sorry. I addressed it to Mary. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
The name of the vendor is Contract Solutions, I believe. And Mr. Zebrowski is listed as general counsel on their website. This is a company that we started to do business with several years ago. They make a nice dollar from the town for scheduling off-duty jobs. And I understand they're even looking for more business in the police department and doing all of their scheduling, getting rid of the system we currently have because there's problems with it. And he's listed on their webpage as general counsel.
Okay, so now with that being said, I guess this is more directed towards the Republican members. Was any of that taken into consideration before appointing him, minus the lawsuits and the other conflicts of interest? Because we've only heard two people get appointed. One was a no, or nominated for appointment. One was a no. I believe there were two other people on the Republican list, but we just jumped on Mr. Zebrowski before even hearing about the others.
There was 3 totally. Only 2 were nominated. And once one wins, there's no really point in talking about the third one.
Okay, I do understand that. I just think with all the points of conflict of interest, I think a little bit more deliberation perhaps should have been taken into consideration?
Yep, and I don't think that it wasn't taken into consideration. You know, from my perspective as a fellow Republican. You know, so overall, I think that, you know, there's been many criticisms in terms of the process in which the three were brought to our attention. However, in terms of the nominations, I did second one of them. And I'm looking at specifically more from a public safety standpoint. We have other council members who have a conflict of interest due to family and previous experience in law enforcement. So it isn't new to our borough. However, in our recent nomination for Officer Zebrowski, Councilman Zebrowski, you know, he was a former officer here in the borough, former chief of police, you know, and when I look at the history of the public safety before his departure in that position towards now, I think that's also under consideration as well. So I think that there are many residents who did consider that and feel a bit more comfort in his return in that, you know, in an official capacity within the government and within at least one of our departments. So, and his background, I think from an education standpoint, he's part of the borough now, or the borough government now, so I'm sure he can speak a bit more in detail towards himself. But in terms of what we considered, I think from my research towards him, his previous experience in our borough, his level of familiarity with the different personalities in our borough as well, including those in our, you know, in our executive board, I think plays a crucial role. I think his background from an education standpoint, as a lawyer, as you mentioned, a general counsel, so he's a lawyer. I think that plays a role in terms of making laws, right? So, you know, though folks can have a perception that there was no background done, but I respectfully disagree. I think that there was a lot to consider, but nonetheless, I think overall, most of us made the right choice.
Okay, I appreciate that explanation. My only question is the other members on the council that do have conflict of interest as far as family members, I don't believe, and I could be wrong by saying this, I don't know if any of them have been sued or are currently being sued by members of the business that they work for. That's, you know, my only comment.
Some folks are not always forthcoming in terms of, you know, what they're being sued for. Those are allegations, right? So I know the council.
No, I understand that allegations.
On that, and that's on her to bring forth accusations. She has accusations against her. It's not new.
That's all well and good. I just think that, you know, this is something that should have been taken into consideration.
It takes nothing to accuse someone of something, right? So that's, I'm just generally speaking, you know.
We just settled this in for a quarter of an hour.
Okay.
Mayor, it's Sean King. Can I just comment briefly?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I think it's inappropriate, unprofessional, perhaps defamatory to sit up here in the dais and accuse somebody of being ethically challenged or corrupt. What I'm hearing here is that the gentleman who just got sworn in works for a company that does business with the town. How is that corrupt? How is that something that should preclude him from taking office? Obviously, as a member of the governing body here, he's not going to be trying to get contracts with the town. That would be inappropriate. There's ways to deal with that. It happens all the time. And then on top of that, to say that he's got litigation pending against him, I don't know anything about it. I don't know if that creates a conflict. I know that anybody can sue anybody. So before you start calling people corrupt and defame them on the night that they get sworn in, I think you really should step back and see what the facts are. And right now, I haven't heard anything that says somebody's doing anything inappropriate.
Excuse me, I never defamed him at all. I mentioned the fact that he is that the whole thing about, you know, his job and his children is strictly in being the head of public safety. In the past, the legal opinion has always been you shouldn't be on public safety if you have any children in the department. That's why I asked that. And you told me it was inappropriate to ask it until after we, you know, he was actually elected. So I waited till after that.
You did defame him.
How did I defame him?
You made him famous for wrong reasons, for accusations that we don't even know if are true or not. That's the definition of defaming. You did defame him for the record.
All of these accusations are a matter of public record. A matter of public record. I didn't defame him. I said that there are serious accusations against him, and this could cost the taxpayers millions of dollars, and it would be prudent to wait until these suits are adjudicated. That's not defaming anybody. I can remember there have been times before where somebody's got a lawsuit against him, and in the Democratic Party, we haven't let them run for office until the lawsuit was adjudicated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to second that point because I just think it's a point of fact that there's pending litigation right now in the PD, and it's for matters that occurred while Mr. Zebrowski was the chief. That's just a point of fact. I don't think there's any speculation about whether that's the facts or not. So I think the point was, we've got a lot that's pending right now, a lot that's still being investigated, and some serious matters there. I thought the point was, might be prudent to wait until the dust settles with that, and any wrongdoing is hopefully cleared before
the legal process.
Let the legal process take its course. So I think that was the point, and it's okay for people to make a point like that.
I just think it's interesting how we have individuals here that are talking about pumping the brakes, taking it easy, waiting for litigation, waiting for things to settle, waiting to get a clearer vision on things. And yet we have had discussions up here, my own arguments of trying to say we should pause and not move forward, right on down to the zoning board appointments just earlier in this day. So it's interesting to me that the same argument that's being put forth now is an argument that's often dismissed for the interest of being quick and prudent and moving forward, and we have to continue and we have to do this, and this is this racing through only when it suits their person's agenda. But welcome aboard, Councilman Zebrowski. I was really hoping that your first meeting was not going to be the way that things have been going over the last year, but you're in the fire now. I would like to move forward with the remainder of our agenda, but if anybody else has more comments on this, I appreciate your comments. Our attorney, I personally didn't say anything in reference to this appointment because some of the statements that I heard coming forward, I thought could potentially lead to, who knows, some type of defamation or I'm not an attorney, slander, whatever, libel, just by hearing some of the things here. But it's not surprising in this forum. Anybody else have anything to add from the public? I see you gentlemen standing. Come on up, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Salman, Dr. Salman Sheikh. I'm the president of Baitul Iman Academy. It's an award-winning Perico school. The school is in Hazlet, but I have a large number of students from Sayreville and a lot of alumni from Sayreville. In fact, one of my former teachers is also teaching in Sayreville Public School. So we are very well connected with Sayreville. And we teach our students to be good citizens, good neighbors, and be active in the community. And of course, they are active in Sayreville in volunteer capacity, in sports, and also in the mosques. So they are very perturbed, they're very disturbed about the closing of the mosque. I know there are issues to resolve and we want to resolve them in a safe fashion, but all I request is to try to be as expeditious as possible and do it as early as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Everybody, thank you for having me here and everybody. Yes, my name is Aman Tahir, 133 Pulaski Avenue. I want to greet our Honorable Mayor Victoria and all the council members for having us here. We thank you for your services. First and foremost, we condemn the loss and tragic murder of our former councilwoman. We request the task force or ad hoc committees to resolve the matter, this major matter at hand. And we trust you. We have all trust in the council members. They're working tirelessly every day and night. You guys are here for us, from reviewing budget to representing the community to other levels of the government.
I think the microphone cut out, Jess.
Okay, yeah, I just pushed it.
There it is, there it is.
It's my first time here standing, so.
You're doing fine.
Okay, yeah. I'm here on the behalf of, well, myself and for my Muslim community. I just moved from New York to Sayreville a couple months ago. And in New York, I never had this privilege to be involved in a community where everybody's is just so nice and you're being loved. I never had the opportunity and I missed it. I came to America about 8 years ago. And ever since, I've just missed my hometown because, you know, I didn't get an opportunity to, you know, just involve myself in those such people, you know, with my own kind, right? So Masjid Sadr, the mosque, is really important for all the Muslims. The value, of course, we understand it's not just a mosque, it's a community center. It's not just open for Muslims, but everybody in the community, they can just come. The mosque gives us the opportunity to participate in community activities. It promotes peace, prosperity, individually and as a community. Masjid Sadr is not only a place of worship for Muslims, but a playground to all the kids in the community. And it is a personal and career development center for the youth. And we construct new programs in various fields. I have so many people here making programs for free that are helping for youth, some in IT, some in real estate. A lot of stuff is happening out of cost. Those professionals are making and putting those hundreds of hours to make such platforms where we can do something better. We can help the youth. I urge and humbly request the mayor and all the council members to look upon this matter deliberately. There are so many lovely people present here in the building to show support for the mosque, which makes it known how much this mosque means to them, the value. This mosque called Masjid Sadr will only make the city of Sayreville more peaceful and prosperous by carrying on with its campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Next, please.
Shafkat Mahmood, 4 Gyara Court, Parlin, New Jersey. Resident of this town for 24 years. Homeowner in this town for 18 years. I was here on 13. Today is 27. The holy month of Ramadan is just around the corner. It will start in 3 weeks. We need to prep for the Ramadan before Ramadan. We pray 4 times daily in the mosque during Ramadan. We break our fast in the mosque. We pray 2 hours evening prayer in the mosque. We have study sessions for men, women, and kids over the weekend in the mosque. If you cannot let us go inside the mosque, please help us to find another location for the month of Ramadan. You are very honorable people, and I'm sure you understand the urgency of this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Mahmoud Zayed. I reside at 52 Albert Drive in Parlin. I am a lifelong resident of Sayreville. My parents are lifelong residents of Sayreville, as are my siblings. And over the course of the years of my life, I've been able to see Sayreville continue to flourish and grow. And much of that is due to your efforts on the council. So I thank you for your continued service and allowing Sayreville to continue to grow and prosper. When the community center was introduced a few years ago, a large need was met by the growing community of Muslims who reside in this town. A feeling of a home for us in our practice and in our worship. And that need was finally fulfilled when the community center, Islamic Center, opened its doors, not just to Muslims who reside in this town, but to everyone who resides in this town. And a parallel can be drawn to the home. The home is not just a place to sleep or a place for shelter, but the home is where our children grow. The home is where lessons are taught, lifelong lessons. The home is where food is shared, where bread is shared between brothers and sisters, and families grow amongst one another to become citizens of the community and people who share love and well-being across one another. And our mosque serves the same role in our lives as a home. And I think I speak for the many members of the community who are both present here and not present here today, in sharing the sentiment that we feel we are now without a home. The closure of our mosque and our community center has not only deprived us of our ability to worship, but it has deprived us from the ability to seek out the benefits that the mosque brings to us as Muslims, but the community as well. It provides a place for interfaith dialogue. It provides a place for community outreach programs, charity, and events that allow us to promote understanding and harmony amongst our diverse Sayreville community. And as the holy month of Ramadan is steadily approaching, it becomes increasingly more important for us to have a home, to have a place for us to continue our worship, to continue our activities for the youth, to continue our ability to come together as one and provide benefits and care for the Muslim community and the Sayreville community at large. Therefore, I strongly urge you as members of the council to please consider hastening the process, consider reopening our community center to allow us to continue to have the same opportunities for spiritual growth, community engagement that all faiths enjoy in our town. Thank you for your urgent attention to this matter, and I thank you again for your service.
Thank you very much. I do see that I have a representative online that wishes to speak. Is there anybody else from the public? Because this is an individual that has spoken already a moment ago. So yes, the gentleman in the brown shirt towards the front. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak today about one issue. My name is Hazem Adam. I live in 35 Gorniak Drive, Parlin. And I'm here today to speak about the same issues that I see dozens of people are speaking for several months without reaching a solution till now. The issues that we talk about is closing our only worship house as Muslims living in Sayreville. So we're not here to express only our emotions and feelings. We need to reach and to listen to a decision or what's going on with our worship house, why it's closed till now. And at the same time, when this worship house, the only worship house for Muslims in Sayreville, when will be reopened again? We are losing a lot day by day, especially that within few weeks, less than 3 weeks, or maybe between 3 and 4 weeks, we will start our holy month, Ramadan. If you read about Ramadan, it is a holy month for Muslims, which means a lot, which means giving everything, giving food for poor people and for everyone, giving money. So I cannot imagine that how this big community of Muslims, that they are keep coming going to our Sayreville Council meeting here, and there is no decision yet. We don't need to just put bicycles for us. We need to reach and facilitate the process. This worship house, if we have another worship house, we will not do much effort like this. But we have only one worship house, and I can't see any serious action from your side. So please, we have to rethink about that decision. Closing or shutting down of the only worship house for Muslims in Sayreville is nothing easy for Muslims. We have to rethink out in the country that the first part of it is freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. So how can there is a freedom of religion in our constitution and we don't have a worship house for us? Please, we need this process to be finalized as soon as possible because we feel very upset about it. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if you don't mind, because we are receiving a good amount of comments regarding the community center, which is more of within the corridors of planning and zoning. Do you mind if I kind of make a comment at this point? Yep. You mind if I make a comment regarding this planning and zoning public portion comment, Madam Mayor? Okay, well, overall, I just want to express that, for those who are making comments towards the community center, that I just want to express that I believe I understand the importance of, the sensitivity of your religious observation coming forward, right, in the month of Ramadan as it approaches in the next few weeks. And I don't want you to believe that the closing of the center is due to our insensitivity towards that. I believe personally that it's strictly more from a zoning standpoint, right? And it's not personal to you or your religion but specifically towards the zoning and where you choose to conduct your religion, So regardless of how it might affect us emotionally, I want to encourage that that's where we are. It's strictly from a zoning standpoint. And from the knowledge I have, because I'm not a zoning professional, but our professionals do state on a consistent basis that, the center needs to follow the zoning requirements for it to be reopened. And we're not looking at just meeting one requirement. From my understanding, it's a long list of requirements, okay? So when you're making your comments towards the speed to get it back under running, that's challenging because we're looking at a long list of requirements, right? So how fast it will take might also determine on your side as well, right? And this is our personal opinion from the standpoint of our relationship with planning and zoning. I really hope you take heed to that as much as possible. In addition to that as well, I think from a government standpoint, as an individual at least, the most we can offer, or at least myself now, is to work with you to look at other commercial properties available within the town that you can connect with, that you can see how you can observe your religious observation moving forward, pending till the zoning challenge is resolved, right? So I think that's the only reasonable option so far. I'm saying this now while the public portion is still open, so I can get your feedback. We can work towards something. But I just don't want you to believe that it's against your religion and your need for socialization. I think we understand that importance, but the challenge is strictly from the zoning standpoint. So just want to say that for now as some of you are making your comments. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Council President. Next, sir, I see, I was going to go online because I do have somebody that was waiting. Mr. Syed.
Thank you so much, Galib Syed, 3 Sophie Street, Parlin. I have some requests towards the community center. One of the challenges I have in understanding that we had opened this, or this community center was open more than a year ago, and it was operating without any challenges. We were going and we were offering our prayers, youths were meeting, seniors were conducting their activities. There are a lot of educational activities were going on. And then if I recall 2 meetings ago, not last meeting, or prior to that, we had some inputs from the surrounding people. And I think that really had changed the vertical of the community center. And without, if we have been practicing our religion and performing all the other activities for more than a year, and all of a sudden it was just boom, it was closed down. And of course, as you all are saying that you are not insensitive to the religion, to practicing the religion or our prayers, offering our prayers, and I fully agree and understand you are what you're saying. However, that's the only place we have in Cedarville. That's the only place we have in Cedarville to go and offer Friday prayers or daily, whatever number of prayers, 5 prayers, and whatever number of meetings I could go and attend there. That was the only thing we had for my children. For other children, like many of us came last week and also pleaded that, hey, that is the only place we have to go and perform various activities or do various activities in that center. And that center is being closed down. And as an example, we go to Friday prayer in neighboring church, and we still have the same number of cars. We have similar same number of people go there and offer our prayers and come out. And also, there was a challenge. There was also concern that us going there is causing some traffic issue and XYZ issues. But I particularly, when I go and observe this Friday and Friday before, the traffic, trust me, the traffic has not lessened or it has not gone down if we are not in that center. So things still are there as a challenge, right? So what we have, as Christian has identified, that there are some zoning related concerns. So can we go and at least have this zoning related concern listed and resolved in a matter that we have our community center or Masjid al-Sadr during the month of Ramadan, that we can go and pray, offer our prayers, open our fast, meet and greet community members, each other. So it is not only myself or a certain age group. It is a young person who was there as a 10-year-old or 12-year-old to 75 and 80 years old people. We're all coming there, and this center is welcome for those who are not Muslims to come and observe and what we are doing. And this community center is not only fulfilling the requirement for our own community, but also we have a charity group such as the AMFHR, where we go and put things non-perishable food and distribute, irrelevant of what religion, what culture, what creed they are. We go and distribute those food packages to the people. So this community center has already provided a lot of good things for the Cedarville and surrounding areas. So my humble request here would be to consider opening the same community center for the month of Ramadan, and also while we are in parallel working to resolve whatever the zoning issues are. Like my thing is, we were open for more than a year, and we were offering prayers, and City of Cedarville has been working with either.
Sir, if you could wrap it up, that's 5 minutes. If you could wrap it up.
Sure. In conclusion, what I'm saying is saying that if City of Cedarville was allowing to work and pray, offer our services in the community center in the last more than 1 year, then I think you can be kind enough and consider it to reopen this one while we work the zoning issue. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I do see there is another individual waiting to speak. Please step forward.
Mohammed Naveed, 34 Corey Street. First of all, Mayor, we are actually missing you in your seat here. because you were good at reading at hands. And
Thank you.
I was raising my hand, but I was not picked up, so I had to literally stand on the line.
I appreciate you doing that.
Sure. I hope you feel better if you're not feeling well.
Thank you.
Hope is not a strategy. And that is one thing that I'm hearing here in this council meeting. And I'm trying to draw parallels between Yunus's death, murder, and the Masjid Sadr closing down. Because we are hoping that it works out. We are hoping that we are going to catch the perpetrator. We are hoping that somehow magically the murderer is going to come in front of us and say that, yeah, I did murder Yunus. Not going to happen. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever time that has passed? And again, with respect to the Masjid Sadr and Community Center, it's almost like here are the rules that are given right there. Let's make only that happen. There are no gray lines. There's nothing in between. Something as an example, right? If people are praying in that place and like Christian mentioned, that maybe there is a tent that is possible, makeshift, something like a makeshift or whatever that is, right? Obviously, I don't know about the details of it. Again, I'm trying to draw parallels. We have to have the urgency in the matter of Yunus's murder. We have to have the urgency in the matter of trying to open up this place where Muslims are looking forward towards, right? There are, I don't know how many families are in Sayreville that are looking towards that. I don't know, 300, 400, 500 families, I'm not sure. But it almost feels like in every home, there was a Yunus that was lost because of the closing down of the masjid, the mosque, right? So again, I want to bring to the attention of council members, hope is not a strategy. Please have some type of outcome, some type of goal, and march towards that goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, it's attorney. Could I just clarify one thing?
Yes, you may. I was going to just ask you to do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And I know that Christian had asked me to do that. So just to give a little bit of background, which many of you know, over the last year or so, the operation of the community center was operating without the full approval of the town. The town was trying to work with the owner. The owner accrued over $600,000 in fines from the township for not complying with the municipal code requirements. Some of those requirements are safety related, fire, building quality. So when there's poor building quality, a ceiling could fall down on somebody. When there's bad fire prevention, a fire could break out. Sanitary, traffic, lighting. There's a multitude of issues that get dealt with at the zoning board. So when one of the speakers said that the council just decided when a big group of the residents from that area came to the meeting, just decided to put the hammer down and stop. That's not happened at all. That's not what happened at all. It was a process that was going on for over a year, and the town was showing great leniency in letting the town center continue, with the owner continuing to promise that he was going to file a plan with the land use board. They filed a plan, but it was grossly inadequate and it did not meet the requirements that are required under the law. Fast forward, the town attorney back in December filed the lawsuit. That's before I even got involved. So it had nothing to do with all the people that came out that are residents from that area. It was kind of a growing problem that finally reached the end when the owner didn't commit to what he said he was going to do. The town's folks realized that they had to do something. And I can't speak for the governing body, but I've spoken to them all individually. Nobody wants to shut down a place of worship, but there's a process. It's now before the appropriate land use board, and you have to let that play out. These folks up here, the elected officials, they can't call the land use board and say, hey, we want it open tomorrow, because those are professionals that have a fiduciary responsibility to do their jobs. Somebody else mentioned a tent. To get a tent, you have to get a permit. So for instance, when you get a tent and you're getting a couple hundred people there, you have to have porta-johns, right? I assume, rather than people urinating on the lawn or something, you got to get porta-johns. So you have to get permits. So there's, everything seems like it's a hardship, But the good news is that now the owner has submitted the paperwork. They're working with the code department. I don't know if it's going to be done in time for Ramadan, but it was a long process. It's not something that just got sprung on the town center. It was a work in progress. $600,000 in fines. If you're the owner of a facility and you got $100,000 in fines, wouldn't you say, oh man, maybe I've got to address this? $600,000. So there's a process. I think that the town is doing everything they can to accommodate the application, but to turn around and say that the town needs to expedite it or is dragging its heels, just not accurate. There's a process that has to play out. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that update. Go ahead, young man.
My name is Abdulrahman Hamraz. I live in Skytop Gardens, building 11, Parlin. I want the community to be built back up again. Said the wrong words. But anyway, I want it to be open again since Ramadan is coming. Also, the community has Sunday school and weekly schools, and basically they teach people about the teaching of Islam, manners, a lot of things they probably need to learn to have a good life, something like that. So, single-handedly, because I go to that school. I've seen what it looks like. I know what it looks like, and overall, it's a pretty good experience, and also helps young people learn about Islam and any other things there ever was.
Thank you very much. All right. I do not see anybody online, and unfortunately, I cannot see more than just a few heads over here. So if there's nobody else thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. I'm Ibrahim Al-Hari. I live in 10 Outlook Avenue. Mayor, I see you're not here. I hope you're feeling okay.
Thank you.
I came across the religious land use so this is Public Law 106-274. It was an act passed on the 106th Congress. The act is called the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act of 2000, signed by President Bill Clinton. And I want to highlight, I'm going to read just briefly section 1 and 1A and 1B. So it says, generally, no government shall impose or implement a land use regulation in a manner that imposes a substantial burden on the religious exercises of a person, including a religious assembly or institution, unless the government demonstrates the imposition of the burden on the person or assembly or institution, and A, is in furtherance of a compelling governmental interest, and B, is in the least restrictive means of furthering that compelling governmental interest. Now, I understand that point A has been thoroughly laid out. There's violations, codes, whatnot, yes. What I'm concerned about is the least restrictive way possible. I mean, you close down just an entire piece of land that a lot of people use, at least easily 600 people regularly use, if not thousands of people regularly use. Is there maybe just a temporary permit that we could have, or some other solution that we can come to? And mind you, this is federal law, which, as we all know, supersedes anything that we can do here. So wondering if you guys are possibly aware of that, or if that is now but what can we do here? Yes.
I don't think anybody here has that expertise in order to offer, but I'll defer over to our attorney just once more on that, because I know that this situation has made its way into other boards and also to Middlesex County Court.
Yeah, so the law you're referring to is federal law. It's also known as RLUIPA, which is the acronym. And it certainly does give places of worship a lot of clout. Towns that want to keep them out can't. This town doesn't want to keep you out. However, the law that you just cited doesn't say you can operate in a facility where there's dangerous conditions going on, or where there's excess traffic or lighting or all of those things. That's part of the application. Now, if you go through the application and you check all the boxes, right? We have a fire inspection, we have a plumbing inspection, we have a builder that inspection that determined that the wall's not going to cave in. If you go through all those boxes and then the town says, we're not going to give you the permit, now you have a cause of action. But right now the town is working with the owner to make it happen. So I believe that you're misplaced in, relying on that. No, I know. You're right. That's the federal
thing, but
you're right.
Public record and make sure all of us know as well.
No, you're right. If you Google RLUIPA, you'll see throughout the country instances where towns have tried to keep different religions out and it doesn't work. Totally different argument here. The town's position is we don't want you to stop. We just want to make it safe. And we want to address those concerns that all the land use boards are concerned with: traffic, lighting, noise, safety, fire, plumbing, all of those things. That's something that the town up here, the town fathers and, ladies up here would not agree to reopen something. First of all, the code department wouldn't do it because they have a job to do. And, there's a process that just has to play out. I mean, it's as simple as that.
And are these, is this information available online to the public, just to see, say if I want to go and do further research of what are the exact plumbing needs? What are the exact electrical
needs? So talk to your attorney. The owner of the community center has an attorney who's very experienced in land use, who has been part of this litigation.
I'm asking as someone who is a citizen, who's maybe if I have a friend in a different town, how could I?
Oh, I mean, you could look up in the Sayreville building code and things like that. It's online.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, it's all in the ordinances. If you go online, Sayreville Municipal Code, it's all laid out there.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, ladies and gentlemen, unless
you have one online.
Oh, I have one online. I'm sorry. I only see as the name Debbie. Go ahead.
If you can unmute.
Hi, how you doing? This is
very good, thank you. Name and address, please.
This is Shamir, and it's 216 Armstrong Road. And I just wanted to say something quickly and what Sean, the attorney, was saying. Speak to your attorney. The attorney is trying to get hold of you, and you didn't. I mean, I don't know if he was off or not, but he didn't return the call. He's waiting for you until tomorrow afternoon, and if not, then we will have to have a consultation with the judge. But apparently, the code, we submit all the shared information after the inspection. Everything needs to be fixed. We submit all the plans and everything, and it gets stalled by the construction department. And the attorney reached out to Sean, the city attorney, to try to get this resolved. And as of today, this evening late, you haven't returned the call, so he's waiting for you to return the call tomorrow. See if you can work out something and get this plans moving ahead. Get this process moving ahead so we can hopefully, God willing, be in there for Ramadan. We would like the city council to please look into this, and we are diligently working with you to get this done and resolved and get this fixed. And we would like to get this done as soon as possible. Really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that update also. All right. I do not see anybody else online. And, oh no, there is one more online. I apologize. Is this Hamza?
Yes. Hi, my name is Hamza. I'm from 5 Sophie Street. I'm a citizen of this town. I have been for the past 12 years. And my question is, just observing the comments over the last couple of weeks, it seems like both sides are saying, excuse me. It seems like both sides are saying that they both want to work it out. My question is, what is the need to escalate this to a court case if both sides are willing to meet in the middle?
So I can defer over to Shauna to give just that timeline of why it needed to go before Judge Toto. It wasn't anything that we wanted to see happen, but I think at a certain point, I don't think we had any other place to go. Correct, Sean?
Yeah. So I do have a second question as well.
Okay. So a lot of this was before my time. The previous attorney was involved in a lot of this, but he also brought me up to speed. So as I said, over the course of the last year, there was ongoing negotiations with the owner. that did not work out to the town's satisfaction, which caused the town to issue over $600,000 in fines that the town was hoping would get the owner's attention. It did not. Ongoing problems at the site, including dangerous conditions. So now we have a situation where the town knows that there's problems on the site and they're not closing the site down. That puts all the taxpayers at risk because somebody gets hurt on a site and the town is aware of a negligent situation or a dangerous situation, then the town taxpayers become on the hook for that. So ultimately, the previous attorney filed an order to show cause that brought us before the judge. And a few weeks ago, the judge signed an order saying they have to cease operations. And to the credit of the community, they really have complied with the court. So I really appreciate that. So that's where we are.
So just one quick question on that. It seems like now, you said the masjid owner maybe had, either looked over some fines or was not addressing them. Now that he's on public record saying that he wants to work with you, is it possible to withdraw the court order? I'm sorry, the case in the court and kind of work hand in hand now that it's all out there, both sides want to work together? That's question one. Question two is, you as the attorney, if you can just help me answer, is there a portion of the mosque, of the community center portion that is compliant to the code? Meaning this facility has been open for over a year and a half. Is there a certain portion that can remain open while the rest undergoes improvements to align with the code?
Yeah, so when there's a property with a dangerous condition on it that hasn't filed the appropriate paperwork, permit applications, site plans, et cetera, the code department doesn't go out and say, okay, you can use this room, but not that room. That is just not the way it works. Again, we're in this position because the prior owner didn't do what he was supposed to do. It's unfortunate, but it's very blunt. And when the proper approvals are given, then it'll be a big, everybody will be happy, but it requires, there's a process. It's a legal process, whether it's a mosque, whether it's a food town, whether it's a shopping mall, you have to file an application. You have to go in there and get all your approvals. Your town doesn't go out and say, okay, we're going to let you do this over here and put a temporary structure up to accommodate you. It sounds in the abstract, it sounds like a good idea. I'm not trying to be short with you, but that's just not how it works. It's a legal process. You got to follow the process. You have a very good attorney who's representing the owner, and he knows it very well how it works. So I just urge you to go through those channels. I know that the governing body has told me and all the professionals to work as hard as possible to get this done, do everything we can. I know I talk to the code department all the time, every day, about the status of the site. And as I said, they told me it was great. Nobody's violating the cease and desist. And the code department is open at all times to Mr. Sachs, the attorney, and is working with that individual. So I can't give you a timetable because it's just not up to me. It's up to the construction department and it's up to the board to hear the application. So it's really nobody up here is in a position to give you a timetable, unfortunately.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
you. Move to close the public portion. I'm sorry, my mic wasn't on.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Vic, you got on mute.
My apologies. I just said that as long as everybody is okay, we can move right into our next meeting. Just give me a second to pull up my agenda and we can move forward. If anybody needs an immediate break, let me know. Is everybody on the council okay?
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, then let's please rise then for a salute to our flag. All right, I do see there's a lot of milling about though, so I do want to be respectful to our flag. The people that are leaving, if you could just do so expeditiously so that way we can move forward with the next meeting. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jessica's statement of publication, please.
Take notice that this agenda meeting of the mayor and council being held this 27th day of February 2023 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Conti.
Here.
Novak. Here. Anoha. Here. Roberts.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Here.
Okay, under general discussions, Jessica, will you be reading that?
Yes.
Okay.
Authorization to execute a utility engineering and construction agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Route 935 Main Street Bridge. A resolution will be listed at the next meeting. Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to Prime Point for payroll processing services. Application for a temporary trailer license received from PSEW Program Management to place one office trailer on Block 257, Lot 3.04, 1000 Chevalier Avenue. Coin toss approval for the Sayreville Junior Bombers for June 10th and June 11th.
Any objection? Okay.
Request to travel received from the following fire departments, A through E.
Any objection? Okay.
Authorization to award a contract to East Coast Emergency Lighting, Inc. through New Jersey State Contract for the provision of lights, sirens, equipment in an amount not to exceed $24,616.03.
Resolution needed.
Yep. Authorization to award a contract for painting the exterior of the Sayreville Historical Society building to GPC, Inc. through ESCNJ Contract in an amount not to exceed $18,880.
I can't hear what you said, Mayor.
I just asked if that was $18,000 for the whole building. Or is it just one, the front,
I believe it's 3 sides.
Oh, it's 3 sides. Okay, Glenn knew the answer. Thank you. That's a good price.
Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to Advanced Landscape doing business as NJ Sports Fields for the grading and resurfacing of War Memorial Jerry Us Complex ball fields in an amount not to exceed $19,400. Authorization to increase the summer camp fee for residents to $255 and non-residents to $280. Authorization to increase the fees for the following programs: 5-day sports camps, resident $150, non-resident $175, 4-day sport camps, resident $120, non-resident $145. Yes.
I just wanted to say, not that anybody's asking, but these fees are reflective of the wages that we have to pay for all of the people that work these things. So we're not making any more money. We're just covering our costs. Okay.
Authorization to establish the following recreation program and fees associated with said program: science camp, 1-week program, resident $165, non-residents $190. And that's it for me.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move forward with our business administrator's report. Glenn, please.
Looking for authorization to appoint Connor Bouchard to the position of mechanics helper in the Department of Public Works, effective March the 1st, to fill the vacancy that we have there.
Can I just ask if he CDL?
I don't know if he's CDL, but he has all of the mechanical certifications that were required for the job.
Okay.
ASF.
Yeah, I know.
And the other item I have is authorization to amend resolution 2019-61 regarding health benefit waivers, and that's in resolution of agreements that was discussed last meeting. That's all I have.
Okay, that brings us to our CFO's report. Denise, please.
Just a budget transfer resolution, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Borough Engineer, anything, Jay?
No report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Borough Attorney, Sean?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any need for executive at this point? Okay, then we're going to move to the public portion. Is there anybody left?
About 5. Anybody want to speak?
The front seats have vacated. I see nobody online, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
There we go. Second. That's always the quick one. Ladies and gentlemen, that takes care of tonight's business meeting and agenda. Go in peace.